And even if you're not, right? Maybe there's a sports fan, a kid of yours is really into sports in your household, a husband, a wife, an uncle, a living grandparent, whoever it is that is close to you that cares about sports on the San Diego scene. Trust me when I tell you, it's Christmas. We are just waiting for our snot-nosed little brother to finally wake up so we can unwrap all these presents because they're sitting under the tree. They're just staring at us. And now it's like, look, I know it's a bicycle because I can see the tassels hanging out of the side of the handlebar-shaped wrapping paper, but I'm not allowed to open it up until my kid brother gets up. Wake up!
It does feel that way because once you open one, you got another one waiting right there.
Dude, it's insane. So we have a 1:10 first pitch at Petco Park as the Padres open up their stateside regular season against the Giants. And then that filters perfectly into the Aztecs tipping off their Sweet 16 game against the UConn Huskies. It couldn't be any more perfect. Now, if I'm the Padres, this is what I'm doing. I'm not allowing the game to be tied in the ninth. I am either A, giving up a rocket shot over the outfield wall, or B, pumping them out like it's a home run derby because this cannot go to extras.
Go that.
Yeah.
Pump them out. Well, you know what's cool, actually, so the Padres, if you are at the game, they're letting you hang out. They're doing the watch party there, so you can watch the Aztecs at Petco Park.
Well, and this is what I would suggest you do. If you're going to watch the Aztecs,
pumping them out. Do that.
Please just, I want it to be like a home run derby. Logan Webb, who? This is what you need to do. If you're at Gallagher Square, where they're going to have that viewing party, go ahead and pop in your headphones, turn on the free iHeartRadio app, because you're going to hear our voices on this show until 10 a.m. Then we hand it over to Darren Smith. He's going to take it from 10 to 1. Then we hand it over, Darren hands it over to John and Jim. They're going to take control of the airwaves from 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock. And then the Aztecs pregame officially gets started with our very own Fletch and John Schaefer as they get ready, hopefully not for the final time, for the Aztec Sweet 16 game. Tip off at 4:40. Ted Leitner takes over as the voice of the Aztecs on the call. This is, again, an electric day if you're a sports fan.
It's the best of the best. This is my absolute favorite time of year, and it's not just because of March Madness, even though I freaking love March Madness, but also like the Masters are coming up in a couple weeks. Like we got Padres baseball getting going here in San Diego. You can already start to feel it, by the way, because I was out and about a little bit running some errands yesterday as much as I possibly can, with the ankle and all the stuff. But there were Padres hats, Padres jackets, Padres jerseys all over town yesterday, and I really do love to see it. And then the added bonus of when you're going around more towards the college side of town, there is San Diego State stuff, all for hats, jerseys, Kawhi Leonard stuff all over town. And the cool ones are the Tony Gwynn ones that have a little bit of both. That's the one that pulls at your heartstrings a little bit. But the Tony Gwynn baseball jerseys that have Aztecs and Padres on them, it's just so sick when you look around this town. And this is the time of year that everybody is getting up for. Everybody's excited for. I freaking love it, man.
Yeah, same. You're right. You can feel it. You got a buzz going around San Diego right now, and it feels good, man. It feels real good because it's that same feeling that we caught last year as the Aztecs were rolling through this thing. The same buzz that we caught when the Padres were making a run. So, God, when it comes around, man, you got to really soak it up.
Yeah. Everyone's like, work?
Yeah.
No. What? No. What is a job? Are you guys heading down to the Blind Burro today to get a machete?
A machete.
Yeah, we got an 11 o'clock little pre-party first.
And then
yes, a machete.
So this is my plan. So I'm here until 10 with you guys, and then I have a quick meeting in this building, and then Oh wait, is that all of us?
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, okay. Well, you're coming too. I just told him, and he was like, "Oh, sucks for you."
I had other plans between 10 and 11.
He was like, wait, what? He was like, that sucks for you, dude. I'm gonna be peeling out at 10:02.
Legit, we just had that at 5:59. I was like,
you could probably Teams in or Zoom in.
No. I have stuff to do here.
Yeah, that's why he's bummed because maybe you could do like, how every once in a while on the show we give a timeout, we signal 30 to the scorer's table. Maybe you could do that in the office later.
Well, let's call timeout right now. Travis, what if you and I pretend and we did think it was just Rich.
Oh, we could
Jesus.
totally just
And then
we
we have-
could just run that.
Deniability.
Although, is it on our calendar?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Please, let me
I
see.
don't know.
Let me-
Here's what I do know.
Yeah, it is. It's on the calendar.
Oh, great. Well, you're all going. You're all going. All right. So here's the deal. So we have that. We have that.
we do. We as a,
Um,
as a
But we
collective.
can skip the normal like 10, 15 minutes of Big Rich, TD, and Fletch just saying things.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think
It's
that's
so
in our
hard.
DNA.
It's so
Right.
hard. Every meeting starts with us doing I'm just wild about Mary, and Mary's wild about me. And then we do a quick soft shoe tap act. And then
Not on purpose,
Yeah.
though.
all of a sudden, it's like once we get to the high kick, Rockettes kick line, we have our seats. Everybody, it's like applause. We have our seats. And then we can start meetings.
No, we need to adopt the mentality of Mary Iola, and then the meeting we just had with another programmer where they have a new little analogy. For
Oh,
us.
yeah.
It's a new,
GTTF.
yeah.
Yeah.
We just got to get down to it. You understand? Wink. Okay.
By the way, have you ever had a baseball season start in your life where you had your starting pitcher go game 1
Uh-huh.
and then he's back on game 3?
Nope. No.
It's never
It's
seen
pretty
that.
cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
It's gonna
rare.
be a long season if every 2 games we take a week off.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to take a week off. We're going to have a couple exhibition games. We're going to do a moment of silence for a fallen soldier, and then we're going to get back to it.
So we had that conversation when the Padres were in Korea that those games really weren't for us.
No,
you know, because
no,
they were
no,
at
no.
3 a.m. Like we weren't really watching. So I feel like today is opening day in my mind.
Well-
Like the Padres record is even. They're
Yeah,
500 team right
exactly,
now. They're
exactly.
0-0 basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just playing a 160 game season.
Right.
That's all.
And
Yeah.
today feels like opening day to me. Like
Yes.
this, I'm more excited and jittery about this one than I was either of the 2 games in Korea.
Tell you
100%.
what, Padre positive series against the Dodgers so far this season, even.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
We need that.
Yeah. Let's keep that going. Yeah, so listen, that actually is true. Padres positives are back. We had to do this last year. Last year there was such a fever pitch of expectations on the Padres that we were like, well, this is going to be an easy season. We're
Mhm.
just going to breeze through as this Padres make their next championship series bid. And it's going to be a deeper run into the postseason. Let's plan the route for the World Series parade. And then it came to be like summertime. We're like, hey, are the Padres making the playoffs? And so we developed something called Padres positives, where we just had to focus on the good things throughout the season. I don't think we're going to abandon that this year because it did make you feel better when things were going wrong.
Yeah.
So we'll stick that out. We're back on that.
The house burns around you. You're like, oh, at least the TV still works.
I'll tell you what, the Flames haven't licked that coffee maker yet.
Somebody
And
get the dog.
yeah, and the dog. Wait, the dog. The dog. Where's the dog?
The dog.
Mr. Fluffers. Yeah, so it was an interesting season last year. It's going to be obviously, we hope, a better season this year for the Padres. It's impossible to know for sure.
Where are your expectation levels?
For the Pods?
Yeah.
Not high.
Somebody asked me to put a number on it yesterday, and I don't love the number I came up
A
with.
number as far as wins?
Win total.
Don't do it this hour, even if you said it on air. I want to do that in our bonus hour.
Okay.
So in the
Okay.
10 o'clock hour, the three of us are going to have to decide how many wins the Padres are going to have this season. We're going to put our name on a number, and maybe we'll even attach a little contest to it.
Oh, God.
Very similar to how we did win totals with the NFL.
I'm not
Oh,
eating another
God.
chip.
I'm not saying we
I'm
have
not
to
eating
I'm
another
not-
chip.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm not even saying
But
that.
if you thought about a severed leg from a train accident,
I would almost rather eat that
Yeah.
than another chip.
Well, yeah, the Pocky One Chip Challenge, the spiciest tortilla chip on the planet, which we ate as a result of us tying a 3-way tie at the end of the NFL season because we all guessed the same amount right and wrong on win totals in the NFL. That sucked. This time around, we should pick something that isn't going to create a situation where all three of us are violently ill on
Yeah.
air.
The throwing up was way worse than the eating.
Yeah, you experienced that on the ride home. Yeah. I ended up thinking I was going to have a stroke, and TD went through everything we went through within the first 10 minutes.
30.
Yeah.
So I was pretty good. I mean, it was hot. And once you got to minute 12, I was like, oh my God, it's going away.
Yeah, I'm through it.
Minute 14, I'm going to die.
So we'll figure out what contest we'll put on the Padres win totals. Here's what I will say about my expectations for the season. They are relatively low. So if that's a little tip off as to how I'm going to place my win total, let it be a little bit of a hint.
Well,
I think that what the problem I have with the roster is it's not deep.
mhm.
So you are
Mhm.
depending on your starting nine. You're depending on every arm in your rotation staying healthy. You're depending on every arm in your bullpen staying healthy. If you have any hiccups, this season could tailspin. So to me, that's the biggest concern is how do you keep all these guys on the field consistently for 160 more games? That's where the nerves start getting baked into the equation for me.
Yeah, and I would say that in my head, my expectations are much different than in my heart. So, I mean, what my thought process is probably not exactly what my true feelings are.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, like, so no matter what my win total is, because I'm with you, my expectations not high. I do have a feeling of like, they better make the damn playoffs. Come on.
So something else really funny that happened yesterday is somebody asked me to make the case for San Diego State to win their game today.
Okay.
And I've
We're
convinced
switching gears.
myself.
We're switching gears.
I've convinced myself that San Diego State's going to win today over
Wow.
UConn.
By the way, nice shirt.
Thank you.
Wow,
a really
that is
good friend of mine
that
bought it for me.
is an adult shirt.
Oh, wait till you guys see this.
Wait, what's going on?
Wow, look at that. The new scooter with a
Dude.
basket.
Okay, so Fletch broke his ankle slipping on an acorn the other day. Actually, it's not an ankle. He broke his leg. He broke the fibula and the tibia.
I have to
So
have surgery because the bones are growing apart. It's a mess,
Yeah,
guys.
What bones are growing up? You're still growing. You're still a growing boy.
Not the right way.
yeah, you're going like when your shin is growing outward. That's how you know it's a really special injury.
It's like they said, okay, when we see you for the next round of x-rays, we want to see these two bones fusing together again and healing the natural way. And then all of a sudden, nope, yep, they're going the wrong way.
Well,
Yeah.
We're going to need to fix this.
Yeah.
Wow.
And by the way, the manipulation they did to your leg when you went in,
Ugh.
I didn't tell you this ahead of time, is because they don't want them to start setting the wrong way. So he literally was moving your bones around so that they didn't. Like
Yeah.
he was breaking all the osteocytes that had connected to each other. So that's fun.
No wonder why I was in so much pain and still am. And by the way,
It's
can't,
fun.
can't take any drugs because they don't want my blood to be thin for the surgery.
Oh,
wait, but
dude,
not
no,
now.
no,
Like
no, no.
surgery's like
I
Wednesday.
I can't take anything.
Okay,
for a week.
but you can drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Tomorrow is Bar Card Friday.
I will be indulging.
Okay, brought to you by Keggin Bottle,
Right.
10 locations around
Yeah.
San Diego, and we will be indulging as well.
Mhm. Depending on how today goes, there may be more indulgence.
Oh
Well,
my
I guess
gosh.
either way. I mean,
Yeah.
are we drowning our sorrows or are we celebrating?
Well, so I want to get to the Aztecs. I'm very curious to hear why all of a sudden you're this beaming ray of sunshine about the Aztecs, Fletch. But before we get to that, your expectations for the Padres baseball season, what are they exactly? Like, and I'm talking about, you don't have to give us a number yet. We'll do win totals later. But like when you think about the Padres, what feeling do you have?
You know what's bizarre is I feel better about the Padres in the postseason this year than I do about the Padres in the regular season this year. So if they can get to the postseason, if they can figure out a way to get there, I think that they have the three pitchers to make a run. And that's what you need in the postseason. You need a big three pitchers, and then you need some combination of bullpen days to get you through the games where your big three aren't rested enough. But between Joe Musgrove, Yu Darvish, and Dylan Cease, if they all play to their potential and if they stay healthy this year, the postseason should be pretty great for the Padres. Like, that's just the honest feeling I have. Now, can they get to that 84, 85 win window where they would be able to get into the postseason? I don't know the answer to that. What it's going to take is a big year offensively from Fernando, from Manny, a really good year offensively from Xander, from Jake, and then the role guys have to play their role a little bit better than they did a year ago, and there has to be one wild card. I hope it's Ha-Seong Kim. I really do. I hope he takes the step into stardom, but if it's not him, there has to be a wild card that we didn't see coming who has just a banner year for their numbers that is way above expectation.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with all of that. I want to see the bats light up. I mean, last season we went game after game after game of they were only putting up 1 run or 3 runs, or if the opponent had 5, the Padres had 4. Like, come on, man, let's knock some people around the bags here and put some runs on the board.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I want to see this early. I want to see it often. give me some confidence.
Yeah, crooked numbers, right? Finishing innings with more than one run. Yeah, how frustrating it is when, Ha-Seong Kim, solo shot, Jake Cronenworth, solo shot, Tatis Jr., solo shot, Machado, solo. It's like, enough of this. Like, don't get me wrong. I love the fact that there's power hitters in this lineup. I love the fact that this team can put them out. The problem is they don't do it when there's runners in scoring position or runners on base in general. I think the Padres, and I think this is part of the reason why they were, there's a bigger reason why they were willing to move on from Bob Melvin. Obviously, there was discord between he and AJ Preller. There were all those things that were baking in the background, even though they made the championship series run in Bob Melvin's first year as manager with the Padres. But you bring in a new manager. You have Mike Shildt. Mike Shildt, he comes from the National League. National League, obviously, with the DH has changed a lot, but over the years, he had a long run where, those Cardinals teams, they didn't always have like a powerful hitting lineup. Sometimes they did need to manufacture runs and get a little creative. When you're sharing a division with the Dodgers, there's going to be times where you're going to have to get creative. You're going to have to play a little small ball. It's like, I want this team to adopt the thought process, win by any means necessary. Like, we don't have to be the launch angle team. We don't have to be the, hey, we're going to just out home run you. Let's just win. Let's just pile up a whole bunch of W's and then get to the postseason. And like you said, Fletch, I agree with you. I think amongst these 5 starters right now, with Darvish and with Musgrove and with Cease and Waldron and King, I think there's going to be 3 that emerge from that group where you can trust them in the postseason. So just getting there is the most important thing. All right, coming up, we do have some giveaways. Social D tickets again. Islands gift card, a $50 Islands gift card again. We're going to do that. We're going to tell you how to win those coming up in a little bit. First at halftime, then we'll get to these Aztecs.
Well, we got a very busy day on San Diego Sports 760. So
yes, we do.
Beginning right now, the 3 of us idiots, we're on air for 4 hours, which we're usually only on for 3. So we'll see what happens with that 4th hour today. But we'll be on until 10 o'clock. And then immediately after we get off the air at 10, Darren Smith jumps on a little earlier than normal. And he's going to be live from the Blind Burro downtown. You can go get some food, get some drinks. And Darren and John and Jim will have a very special giveaway. There's going to be a QR code on the table. So you have to go by the Blind Burro today in order to win this giveaway.
I like that.
Okay.
We'll announce it a little later on in the show.
You have to be present to win.
I don't know the answer to that. I think you just scan the QR code and
What
sign
does
up.
QR mean?
Quick release.
I'm going to look that up while Fletch is talking on halftime.
What's that gross?
So
why,
John,
why does it have to be gross?
I don't know. It just sounds gross to me. The way you said it,
I just
you had
wrote
a
quick release instead of QR code. That was a mistake.
Quick release.
And then John and Jim will be on also at the Blind Burro from 1 to 4. And then at 4 o'clock. Oh, by the way, I'm on John and Jim today for like an hour. From
No
2 to
way.
3.
Quick response. Quick response code.
Wow, quick response code.
Look at that.
I was
Interesting.
fairly close.
Yeah, not bad.
4 o'clock coverage for Aztecs Hoops begins. 4:39, Ted Leitner's on the call. San Diego State, UConn with the shot at the Elite Eight on the line. And the Padres home opener, of course, is today as well. Major League Baseball getting the 2024 season going. Padres have the Giants today at Petco Park, 1:10 first pitch. Yu Darvish will be on the mound.
So now we switch our attention to those Aztecs. And, I guess I'll start this conversation the same way we started the last conversation. TD, what is your level of anxiety or expectation for this game as the Aztecs take on the team a year ago that knocked them out of the championship?
The level of anxiety definitely increasing. Now, expectations. There is a weird, feeling. I talked about it yesterday of you got to see them get to the Sweet 16 in order to have the, not redemption, but, to solidify their name here. The Aztecs, it wasn't just a one-off last season getting to the championship. You get to the Sweet 16. I mean, you're dancing with the big boys at that point.
Legitimacy,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Perfect. That's the word I'm looking for. They've got it. But that feeling of, am I satisfied with that, is going away. I mean, come on, let's beat UConn. Let's beat UConn. And UConn hasn't seen a team like the Aztecs yet. So maybe there's a chance. Although UConn, golly, is a juggernaut.
They're better this year than they were last year when they won a national championship.
Well,
game.
and
so let that sink in.
I know,
first.
and that's what worries me because I don't know if the Aztecs are better than they were last year.
Good point. I think they have a better player than they had on any part of their team last year.
I agree. I just don't know if the special sauce is the same, ingredients in that.
Yeah, it was against Yale, though. The special sauce was there in droves. So I teased this earlier, but I'm going to explain to you guys why I actually think San Diego State's going to win today.
Yeah.
And so someone asked me to make the case to them, and I said, well, if this game is played in the 60s, that gives San Diego State the best shot to win, right? So if the final score is like 64-63, somewhere in the 60s, and it doesn't get to the 70s or the 80s, I think if it's in the 70s or 80s, UConn rolls. So then I went a little deeper because I said that, and I was like, I wonder if there's numbers to back that up, and there absolutely are. UConn in games where they are held to 70 or fewer points this year are 2-3. Guess how many losses UConn has this season? 3. So their only losses have come in games where they are held under 70 points or at 70 points. Now I went and looked at San Diego State. Well, how often are they holding teams under 70? About 3/4 of the time this year.
Yeah.
So when you look at San Diego State and the defense they play and the tempo that they play at, if they can turn this into an ugly basketball game, I mean, one that is not fun to watch. I mean, San Diego State just gets down and dirty like one of those
balls.
Fresno State games a couple years ago where the final score was like 43-44. Like, if they can get ugly, San Diego State has a real good shot at winning this thing. And San Diego State's also real good at making games ugly.
Well, look, UConn has a little bit of a three-headed monster with Klingon and Newton and Spencer. The three of them are super talented. At San Diego State, it really comes down to one guy, right? It's Jaden Lee. Now, don't get me wrong. The cast of role players around him have been good at times, and it has switched. Like, sometimes it's a Trammell night. Sometimes it's a Butler night. He's getting help elsewhere at times, but it really comes down to Jaden. So if Jaden's eaten, so are the Aztecs. And trust me when I tell you, UConn knows this. So the same way you described, like, you got to kind of muck up the game and make it ugly for UConn and make it hard on them to get the ball to their scorers. I'm not saying it's easier, but there is a feeling of, if you can get Jaden out of his game, you've solved a lot of your problems against San Diego
That's how
State.
teams have beaten the Aztecs this year.
Yeah.
It's been on nights where Jaden is either pushed outside the key so he's not able to get to his spot, or they're just forcing him to become a true passer, which that's not his strength. His strength is getting to the basket and then maybe finding the open guy, but mainly getting to the hoop and getting to the free throw line. That's Jaden's strength. Now, what I will say is, in this exact game a year ago, Sweet 16, Darion Trammell was the best player on the court among some lottery draft picks that were on Alabama. Darion Trammell was the best. He was the MVP of this game, had the game of his life. So is Darion Trammell the guy offensively today? Is it Lamont Butler, who's been really good through the first 2 games of March Madness? They have options out there. I'd say the wild card option is Reese Waters, who's coming off the bench, who for the majority of this season was the Aztecs' second leading scorer, even though in the second half of the season he hardly scored at all. Can Reese Waters get back to some sort of offensive tempo in this game and be the surprise that UConn hasn't seen on film? That's going to be a key as well.
Yeah, I mean, what Mike Tyson said it, right? Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. The Aztecs need to be the one who punches them in the mouth.
Yeah,
I mean, change that plan up.
They will not be able to come from behind in this game. San Diego State cannot afford to let an early lead for UConn hit.
Well, let's put it this way. If you're a betting person, if you're somebody who pays attention to the spread, San Diego State over the course of the season hasn't been great against the spread, 14-19 overall. So the house has kind of taken control. However, I will say this. They got beat by 17 in the championship game last year. It was a 76-59 final. So when you look at the Aztecs this year, I don't think they're a better team than they were last year. But I think the basement is higher than it was last year. They may not have as high of a ceiling.
Good point.
But I think as a team overall, they're more solid. So there's more solid footing here. And defensively, like you've said, Fletch, I mean, there have been times where they've shut down good offenses throughout the season where you're like, well, geez, I mean, that's the reason why they won, because it's not like the shots were falling for the Aztecs. They've just been able to hang because they can stop shooters. They can slow down great offenses. And there were a lot of great offenses in the Mountain West this year. They faced a
Mhm.
lot of them already. Also, to your point, I think the point total is somewhere north of 135 right now in this game. So if you like the Aztecs in this one, I agree with what you said. You
Take
like
the under.
You like the under because their chance to win is slowing down that Huskies offense. Holy smokes.
It's here, man.
Yeah.
This-
Talking about it makes me more nervous.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Like we just kind of broke it down a little bit from a lot of different angles. This is okay.
Here's what'll make you feel better.
Yeah.
Lamont Butler, like in terms of numbers and efficiency and defense, like algorithms and all the crap, he's like been the best defensive point guard in the country over the last month.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, there you go. Like, and that's look when and if you're going to change strategies where maybe you're pressuring the Huskies more, you need to have your front court or excuse me your back court having legs and conditioning and being used to that sort of thing. So it's going to be okay. Look, we're going to take a break.
We have 4 hours.
We have 4 hours. We're going to be on the air until 10 o'clock until we hand it over to Darren Smith and Marty. And then they're going to take over until John and Jim comes in. There is no national programming today. It's all local programming leading up to the tip-off of the Aztec Sweet 16 game against UConn. We have plenty of time to talk to everybody, and we will. Coming up next, how do you keep up with the Joneses when the Joneses have a bottomless pit? It's just, I mean, they have so much money that there's nothing you can do. There's one way. We'll share that on the other side. But TD, how are you getting around today? We got a lot to do.
Yeah, I'm getting around in my GMC pickup truck.
That's what I thought.
It takes me everywhere I want to go, and I love driving it, man. It's my daily driver. It's my grocery getter. It's my work vehicle. It's what I drive around on the weekends because I dig it, man. There's no other truck I'd drive. A GMC is where it's at. And right now, my wife and I are in the car buying arena. My wife looking for a new car. I'm telling you, it's not a fun experience unless you go to North County Cadillac GMC because my friend Jamie over there, the GM, he knows how to make the car buying process easy. He understands that sometimes the car buying process isn't fun. That's why he's trying to make it fun at North County Cadillac GMC. And by the way, they're offering exceptional savings right now on new Cadillac and GMC models like the GMC Sierra 1500 and Cadillac Lyriq. And they can also help you get a great deal on a pre-owned vehicle. But don't just take it from me. I mean, listen to this review right here. One of the easiest purchases ever. Yaz is the most efficient salesperson on the planet and makes every car buying process a breeze. Can't say enough about her or the sales team at North County Cadillac GMC. That's from Aaron. See, that's why I'm telling you, when you go to other dealerships and you're like, oh man, I've been here half a day and I'm not happy with this deal at all. That's not going to happen at North County Cadillac GMC. In fact, you can start the process online if you like. Do it from home. Do it from your phone while you're sitting on the couch. You'll get things moving along, and then you'll just roll into the dealership, sign a few papers. They hand you the keys. Boom, you're out of there. So look, there's a reason why North County Cadillac GMC was voted San Diego's best domestic auto dealer in the San Diego Union Tribune Readers Poll. Go there, experience the difference yourself. Find out why. Stop by North County Cadillac GMC in the heart of the Escondido Auto Mall today. North County Cadillac GMC, exceeding your expectations every time.
So normally you fight fire with fire, but what happens if they have fire and you don't have fire? How do you fight the fire? We'll explain how. That's next.
This update is presented by Lowe's. Busy day here on 760. The three of us, we're going to stay on air till 10 o'clock. Darren Smith has 10 to 1 from the Blind Burrow downtown, getting you ready for opening day. John and Jim will be at the Blind Burrow from 1 to 4. And then at 4 o'clock, our coverage of San Diego State hoops in the Sweet 16 gets going. At 4:39, Ted Leitner on the call. San Diego State, UConn with a shot at the Elite Eight on the line. Padres home opener is today. Major League Baseball getting the 2024 season going. It's Padres Giants at Petco Park. 1:10 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound. Save big during MVP's bonus days at Lowe's. Buy one select DeWalt 20-volt max tool. Get one DeWalt 20V max power stack battery 2-pack for free. A $179 value. Valid 3/18 through 3/29 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Yeah, man. Hey, Monday, April 1st, the 2024 iHeartRadio Music Awards happening live on Fox. Performances by Green Day. Lainey Wilson will be there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jelly Roll, TLC, Justin Timberlake going to be performing some of his new stuff. But get a preview of what will be the biggest songs of the summer and watch the iHeartRadio Music Awards on April 1st live on Fox 5 here in San Diego, 8 o'clock. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760.
Don't go chasing
Waterfalls.
Isn't that TLC?
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's TLC. Man, I don't know why I was like, it's salt and pepper, you idiot. No, that's not salt.
Salt and pepper here.
In effect.
I love salt and pepper. I remember when that came. Salt and
Peppa.
pepper, like the pig. Salt and pepper when they came out. I was embarrassed how much I liked them, so I pretended I didn't like them.
Yeah,
and
the same.
Then there were occasions where like friends would jump in the car. This is probably long after I should have been listening to Salt and Pepper, and all of a sudden it'd be like.
Push it real good. We
What's
were
wrong with liking that?
we were well, at the time wasn't real cool.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, wasn't
Oh.
real. You were because you had to like pick a side, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was like, you know what? This is actually a good thing about progress in some ways, right? You know, a lot of times you feel like things are changing too fast and you're like, no, this ain't good. But a lot of times things will change for the better. And like the fact that everybody has a looser definition of like what you're a fan of musically, like it used to be you were either a rap fan or a rock fan.
Right.
There was no crossover.
Right.
Well, and if you were a rap fan, you had to only be a fan of East Coast or West Coast, right?
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't cross over.
Even rap had its battle, obviously.
Well, but was that universal, or was that only like in the rap?
I thought you had to
game?
choose either Tupac or Biggie.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I listened to Tupac and Biggie.
well, that's. I mean, like, here's the deal.
I listened to AC/DC too.
In the rap community, though, there were hard lines, and then I'd remember distinctly in school, like hearing debates over what's better, West Coast rap, like Snoop and Pac, or if it was, I mean, shoot, Biggie, Diddy, who by the way is on the run from the law right now. I mean,
Which really weird, by the way. Because if any of these stories came out about any of us, we are definitely in jail right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there are some wacky things being thrown out there. All of them appear to be true.
No, well, at least for now, there's a lot of allegations, and the fact that he's like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to ditch the mansion, I'm going to get on the plane, I'm not telling anyone where I'm going.
That's right. That's right.
It seems odd. All right, so
We should probably invest in a private plane.
I think we should.
So tail
Not that
Diddy?
we do anything wrong, but just
Just
in
in
case
case.
we do.
Oh, just in case we got to bug out.
yeah.
Yeah, or a helicopter license. This way we could at least hotwire one. How about this? Yeah, though. The point I was trying to make though, musically now, like you weren't allowed to be a country fan if you grew up in New York, for example. Like there were no country fans. But now you can have a bill where Jelly Roll and Lainey Wilson are playing with TLC and Justin Timberlake and Green Day. Huh?
And it's cool.
It's cool though.
Yeah.
It's the way. I'm so happy
You grew
that's
up out
happening.
in New York, though.
Yeah, yeah.
So you grew up out in Biggie territory.
Oh my gosh, yeah. If you
Yeah.
didn't like Biggie Smalls, you were, excommunicated. It was like you go find a different religion because you're not allowed to be here.
Yeah.
It was that serious.
Hot take out here on the West Coast. I like Biggie better.
Oh yeah, for me. Well,
I mean,
then again, it's
even
Is
though
that
West-
a laser on your forehead? What is
right,
that?
exactly, exactly. Even though West Coast is the best coast.
I agree with that, but the rap was better on the East Coast. Okay, so how do you keep up with the Joneses? The Dodgers. The Dodgers are the Joneses. They're the neighbor over the fence who have the Maserati in the driveway.
You get a 10-year contract. You get a 10-year contract. You get a 10-year contract.
They've got the dug-in swimming pool with the little spa, and they've got the pink flamingo floaty, it
The
just
built-in pizza kitchen
Yeah,
next to the pool.
got the robot Roomba vacuum. They got the perfectly manicured lawn, the white picket fence, and you're looking at your lawn. You got all your kids' toys out. You got a broken down Chevy that hasn't moved in a year.
Couple spots from where the dog peed.
Yeah,
But it's still
exactly.
fine.
I mean,
It's fine.
You
It's a
have that
house.
blue pool that your fat uncle tries to get out of, and he dips the side of it too much, and the
Oh.
water just spills
Oh,
all
the
over.
above ground.
The above ground pool.
The
We're
above
gonna
ground.
get one of those in studio here.
Yeah.
We talked
Yeah.
about it yesterday.
Yeah, we certainly are. But yeah, so like when your yard looks like that and your neighbor's yard looks like the Dodgers, where by the way, so Will Smith signs a 10-year, $140 million contract. This is
Wow.
on the heels of them signing Yamamoto
Golly,
to a
Al.
$300 million contract and Shohei Ohtani to a $700 million
He's
contract.
out of the rap game?
So that's right. These three guys alone.
I'm not taking a lap for that. Was DJ Jazzy Jeff come along with him?
These three guys alone, the Dodgers have committed $1 billion to those three players alone in payroll. So if you're the Padres, how do you look over the fence and go, yep, we can beat them?
You got a plan?
I got a plan.
Score 15 runs every time you play him.
Right. Bingo.
The end. All right, coming up. No.
It's a little thing called sabotage. We're going to go over there and we're going to drain their pool. And then we're going to
Pee in it first.
drop a hot log right in the middle. Good
Or-
luck filling her.
And here's a way you could beat the Dodgers. A little mental warfare, right?
Uh-huh.
The Dodgers might have some infighting going on on the heels of the Shohei Ohtani story. Maybe make this scandal even bigger than it already
Wait a
is.
minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is how you beat him.
Go ahead.
You hire an interpreter.
I can't believe your brain goes the same place. So here's what you do. You get a plant. You send you plant a new interpreter over in
Yes.
LA who has a severe gambling problem.
Maybe 1,000%. Maybe a sex addiction.
Something.
Yeah.
He needs to be addicted to something.
Something.
I mean, he could even be a furry. Like he's going to those conventions where they all dress up like mascots and bang each other. I don't care. They need another scandal because guess what? Unfortunately, folks, the Dodgers are unbeatable in their current state.
Is that what happens at furry conferences?
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Oh yeah.
That's so good idea, man. From the inside out. We're just gonna start eating them to pieces.
So how do you beat the Joneses when you look over the fence and they got the Maserati and the perfect life? You go over there and you try to convince Mrs. Jones to sleep with the mailman. You destroy them from the inside out.
All right, Rich, you ready to wear your mailman costume?
Yeah, I'm gonna go over there. I'm delivering the milk.
We need those shorty shorts and those high socks,
Okay,
buddy.
so this actually
By the
sounds.
way-
You guys think like, oh yeah, Rich, you didn't come up with like a real plan. No, this is the plan.
This is
I'm
the plan.
learning Japanese.
Yes.
I'm learning Japanese currently. I'm going to be Shohei Ohtani's new interpreter.
Just say you worked at, I don't know, Scripps College or something.
I'm gonna make up a college. I'm gonna be like, I went to the Jones Institute.
Hey, you
They're gonna
already
be like,
did,
what?
you
I'm
did
like,
the
yeah, don't
hard
worry
work
about
when it comes to banging Mrs. Jones, if that is indeed your plan, because you already lost the weight. You're desirable.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And you know what? Not just me. Maybe TD could
Yeah.
be like my interpreter's assistant.
Yeah, because you bring up those furry conventions, and I used to not be able to go because I could not fit in the suit, and now I could squeeze right into that panda suit that has been hanging in my closet for years. And I'm like, oh god, I guess I'll just go to Comic-Con again because I don't have to wear the suit. But
Yeah.
now I'm back. So this year you're gonna see me at the furry convention thanks to sdfatloss.com.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You go as a panda. I'm going to go as that unicorn I always wanted to go. And guess what? This time I'm not going to ruin the suit because I'm sweating too much because I've lost 30 plus pounds with sdfatloss.com.
But here's the beauty. You didn't just lose 30 pounds and then gain it back.
No, I
You
didn't.
lost 30 plus pounds and then you kept it off. And
From horn to hooves, I'm a different person now.
they can do that for you at sdfatloss.com.
Damn right they can.
Listen, you want to lose weight, you want to lose weight fast, and you want to lose it the healthy way because look, these fad diets, they're not the healthy way
No.
to lose weight. I mean, there's a quick fix to things that you'll probably lose weight, but as soon as you stop whatever the fad diet is, you're going to gain the weight right back, especially these prescription medication
dude.
diets
Yeah.
that we don't even know what exactly you're putting into your body to lose the weight.
Okay, so there are current class action lawsuits against certain prescription drugs that literally we just started learning about 3 months ago.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, do this the natural way. Do this the way that your body needs you to lose the weight.
Yeah.
Don't go the shortcut route. It never works out.
No. And then that's the beauty. You're going to keep the weight off. So you're going to lose the weight. You're going to lose it quick, and then it will stay off. The folks over there at sdfatloss.com, they're going to help you navigate this thing the best way possible. Go there, schedule a free consultation today, sdfatloss.com.
Yeah, so listen, we decided last segment that the Dodgers are unbeatable. So me and TD are going to learn Japanese, and we are going to poison that organization from the inside out, becoming interpreters for Shohei Ohtani, and frankly, anybody else who needs interpretations.
By the way, the deal like they did with Shohei, where they stretched it out over 10 years, into 10 years, you're going to get that $700 million. So they're just going to put that money in the bank. They're going to let it grow, and then they'll basically pay him the interest.
That's right.
So it doesn't really cost him anything. Genius. But the winner of Mega Millions, is that what it was? That's who just won out in New Jersey.
Jerk.
$1.13 billion, right? He takes the lump sum. The lump sum was $540 million.
Okay.
Yeah, it was that much less. Then after taxes, that $1.13 billion, he's going to walk away with just about $280 million.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that
It
wild?
feels like a scam, is
Right.
what it is.
So, like,
Yeah.
I wonder if the Dodgers offered Shohei like a lump sum buyout.
Wait, the lump sum is less because it's not paid out over time, but then you get taxed on what that lump sum is anyway. So
Yeah.
the lump sum is already taxed, and then they tax you again.
Well, the lump sum is not taxed. The lump sum is just a lower amount, which I would say you always want the lump sum because I'd like to make money on my own money instead of Mega Millions making money on my money.
The federal or state government, being able to hold it. Well, anyways, so congrats to this New Jersey gentleman who's.
I mean, 280 mil.
I guess you could do something with that.
You could afford Shohei for half of his contract.
Yeah, good Lord. All right, coming up next, we dive back into the Aztecs, the Padres. Aztecs, obviously, in the Sweet 16 facing UConn, the team that knocked them out a year ago in the national championship. Also, Padres, Giants today, Petco Park. We got to break down that matchup as well. We'll get to all that. But we headed out the last round of this tournament to Dave & Buster's.
Yeah, it was a good time, man.
Good time.
Good time watching, the college tournament action on a 125-foot screen there at Dave & Buster's out in Mission Valley.
125. That's a beautiful screen.
I'm not making that number up. It's that big. Look, you can catch all the college basketball tournament games in March at Dave & Buster's. You can catch all the games in March, after March, whenever. If you're talking baseball, you're talking basketball, you're talking UFC, you're talking football if you want to hang out there that long. And I think you do because the menu is fantastic. It's new, improved, outrageously delicious, some people say. And then they have all the games that you like to play. You want to go there maybe during the timeout, shoot a couple hoops, play a little Galaga, race somebody, halftime, after the game, hang out, play. And they get new games all the time. So if it's some game that you all of a sudden see there and go, I've never seen that thing before. Yeah, that's probably because it's brand new and just getting to Dave & Buster's because it's going to get there first. Plus, you think that's just fun? How about happy hour, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., half-price cocktails, $1 off draft and wine. And if you're a military or first responder, you're going to get 10% off all day, every day. Schedule your next event by calling them directly or visit daveandbusters.com. They got that location out in Mission Valley. There's also one up in Carlsbad. Love them both. Dave & Buster's, we'll see you there.
This update is presented by Summit Racing Equipment. Busy day here on 760. We're going to stay on till 10 a.m. here on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. D. Smith Show will go from 10 to 1 from the Blind Burro downtown, getting you ready for opening day. John and Jim will be there from 1 to 4. 4 o'clock, coverage for Aztecs UConn, and the Sweet 16 begins. 4:39, it's the tip-off. Uncle Teddy Leitner's on the call. He's going to join the show at 7:30 this morning. Shot at the Elite Eight is on the line. It all comes down to this. Padres home opener also today as Major League Baseball gets the 2024 season going. Padres, San Francisco Giants today at Petco Park. 1:10 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound. Drop us a text, 70470. Start your message with team if you are heading out to Petco Park today. Summit Racing has the parts you need to keep your truck rolling right, from custom grills to Tana covers, boom, nailed it, and everything in between. Shop summitracing.com. Use promo code radio for $10 off in order of $100 or more. Exclusions do apply. Offer ends 4/14/24.
Happy Thursday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. San Diego Sports 760. It is the biggest day on the sports calendar if you are a sports fan here in San Diego. Okay? We have the Aztecs tipping off right here on this station. San Diego Sports 760 at 4:40 p.m. You're going to hear the voice of the Aztecs, Ted Leitner, on the air with us in just 26 minutes. He's jumping on the show. So we're going to talk to Teddy. He's out in Boston right now.
Love that money.
I love this song.
Oh, it's a great song. A little royalty-free Thursday for you right here on I Heart San Diego.
What's it about this song that really grabs your attention?
It has me thinking about Big Rich, TD, and Fletch Fest and how we're going to be up on the stage. Like, this needs some, like, gnarly bass drop. Like, blah, 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 blah.
This one does not sound like there should be a bass drop to me. I mean, we have others.
I actually, yeah.
This one's more like, hey guys, thanks for coming out to the Cornhole Classic.
Yeah, but then again, like if you play that bed of music, that royalty-free bed, and then all of a sudden you have like a weird voiceover that leads to a bass drop, like a bit, like you know how every once in a while,
building,
yeah,
building,
it's building,
building.
And then,
DJ.
then all of a sudden you hear like President Biden like you gotta get your vaccination, like something like
Fool
that.
me once, shame on you. Fool me, can't get fooled again. We got to stop terrorists.
Everybody knows she's a fat cow.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
only presidential drops.
but they're all like the lowest point of the presidency. Like Republican or Democrat, we're coming for you, and we're gonna be playing Vegas. It's the wet T-shirt contest at the Encore pool.
I'm telling you, we would win. Like if we started doing that, we would win.
We would win. Oh gosh. Well, listen. That is look. Everybody needs goals. And I think it's the Aztecs' goal to take down the team that took them out of the tournament a year ago, UConn. Like I said, Teddy Leitner is going to be jumping on with us. We'll be chatting with him about the game that he'll be calling in now less than 12 hours. I mean, he's within striking distance out in Boston of TD Garden. He's probably taken in some of the sights and sounds as that city's taken over by March Madness. I'm thrilled for him. Okay, this has been a long wait for a guy who has obviously been on the call with this team for close to 40 years now, to have this back-to-back level of play from the Aztecs this year. Honestly, middle of the regular season, I didn't see this. I didn't look at this team and thought Sweet 16. I looked at this team and thought tournament, but this could be disappointing. This has been so beyond expectations. This has been such a fun ride. And I'm not trying to talk about it like ultimately this is where the story ends, because I do think they can beat UConn. This is going to be a big task for them today. But my gosh, what an incredible 2-year run. National championship last year, Sweet 16 this year. This is like the stuff that they make movies about. This is awesome.
I did read an article yesterday. It was in The Athletic. I can't remember who wrote it. I'll try to find it. I apologize. But it was basically saying that if San Diego State doesn't beat UConn, UConn's going to win the national championship. Like, they think San Diego State actually is the only team left in the field who could actually take down UConn. That's not saying if San Diego State wins, they're going to win the national championship, because different matchups down the way might hurt them. But San Diego State might have enough firepower defensively to be the only team that can trip UConn up.
I think that's accurate.
So do I.
I also throw the shoe on the other foot. I think if San Diego State slays the Dragon, I think they could win a national championship this year.
So do I.
Because UConn, for so many different reasons, it's okay. Look, there's a history building here in March between San Diego State, the Aztecs, and the Huskies. When you look at what happened in 2011 with that Sweet 16 team with Kawhi Leonard,
Stupid Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker. By the way, that UConn team had no business winning a national championship. If you go and look at the offensive numbers, that is the worst performing efficiency-wise offensive team to ever win a national championship since expansion, since
Kemba made
1985.
Big shot after big shot after big shot every step of the way. Kemba Walker, including in the Big East tournament, by the way, that year. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's just crazy.
That was 5 games in 5 nights. It's the first time a team that won, who had to play back to back games to win their conference tournament to gain entrance at law, or I should say, auto bid into the tournament to ever win a national title. So it was a unique year for the Huskies that year. They've had a lot of success since. San Diego State went into a little bit of a lull, have come out of it. Brian Dutcher's teams have been phenomenal since he's taken over. And going to the Sweet 16 against the same team, that UConn team from 2011, obviously different role players, but the same 2 teams. You know, that this UConn team from last year in the national championship, you can't get beat by them a third time. You got to find a way to get beyond. You have to slay the dragon. And if they can do that, I mean, really, they can write their future. They can write their own legacy, I should say.
We have anything going on June 11th?
June 11th.
June 11th through the 13th?
You're making me nervous.
No, why?
You shouldn't be
Yeah,
nervous.
no,
I trust CD
yeah.
that he's asking for a good reason. So
just-
April,
yeah,
May,
June-
June, looking at it, June
June.
11th.
This is going to be something cornhole,
Okay,
darts,
so it's a
racing,
Tuesday.
go-karts, paintball, something.
It's
why
a
is it-
Tuesday.
Why is it a Tuesday?
It's June 11th.
Oh,
it's a
maybe
Tuesday.
this is last year. God, I hope they have a new one. They have an American Cornhole League Open here in San Diego.
Oh, yeah, this might be from last year. I'm going to
This
go back
is-
to
yeah.
2023. I'll tell you what June looked like.
For this.
Yeah, June 11th was a Sunday last year.
That doesn't make any sense either. I don't know. We got to find out more information on
If
this.
there's a San Diego Open for the ACL, since you're a card-carrying member, and I've tried now twice to join the ACL, and they've denied me
I
twice.
can call them.
We should probably get on the
Yeah.
horn with them after the show. We don't got anything to do anyways. And yeah, but if they're holding an open in San Diego, we'll be a part of it.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Absolutely. And jerseys. We got to make jerseys.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
So anyways,
oh my God, what if they were Jersey Mike jerseys?
it's a play on words.
They'd be Jersey's Mikes.
You know, in high school,
My
like,
God.
if you ever had that when you were driving your first car in high school, you know, it's a really cool moment, right? And you're
Uh-huh.
driving around and you have that jerk friend who sits in your front seat and reaches over and pulls the e-brake and your tires just skid.
Wow.
Travis Dale.
I would never do that.
You just did.
Oh, you mean on the broadcast?
Yeah, we're in the middle
yeah.
of this, like
Got it.
Aztecs, or they're playing in the Sweet 16,
I
huge
couldn't
moment.
help it. I
You guys
got
doing
it
anything
popped up.
on June 11th?
What am I supposed to do? It just popped up.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
You know, you actually and I have a lot in common when it comes to ads, except here's the problem. I have an itchy trigger finger. So I am the guy who like when the branding and marketing teams with Instagram advertisers, like when they put their heads together and like, all right, how do they get them to click on the ad? Okay, but then once they click on the ad, how do we get them to buy? You know who they're thinking of? Me. Because I can't tell you how much stuff I have.
Yeah.
Because like as I'm scrolling, I'm like, all right, another video of a girl doing squat thrust. Excellent as usual. Moving on.
Probiotics that are supposed to help my mental state in
I'm
the
not even
morning.
kidding.
Click.
I'm not even kidding you. Like you remember we had what's his name on from what's his name? He was former quarterback. He works with the Functional Mushrooms Company.
Jake Browning.
Nope, close.
No.
That's a punter for that.
Jake
Sex.
Plummer.
Oh, yeah.
Jake Plummer. Thank you.
Plummer.
Okay, so Jake Plummer comes on the show, former Pro Bowl quarterback in the NFL. Comes on the show. He's working for a functional mushroom company called Umbo. The reason why I remember the name of that company is because just from talking about it, all of a sudden I got an Instagram ad. I wasn't planning on buying Umbo, but all of a sudden I find myself at getumbo.com buying functional mushrooms. Since then, me and Jake Plummer have been talking a lot.
Did you buy functional mushrooms?
Yes, dude.
What?
Are you on functional mushrooms
You know-
right now?
Yes, dude.
Banana
At work, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, right
Well,
now I'm on a cocktail of lion's mane and reishi.
I was gonna say that it's very very similar for me, except I just bought a a little laptop stand, which seems like a far cry from functional mushrooms.
Dude, I will share my mushrooms with you if you let me use your laptop stand because that sounds awesome.
This thing was laser cut. It's made of metal, and it was only $11.
God bless America.
It's crazy. Bless America. It's from China.
Oh, God. What I got for you is bad news if you're counting the pennies that the Padres have spent compared to the dollar bills, y'all, that the Dodgers are spending, because they just spent more. Will Smith been a pretty good prospect for the Dodgers. He's been a good catcher for the Dodgers, and now he's going to be the catcher for the Dodgers for the next 10 years. They signed him to a 10-year, $140 million contract extension. This was all consummated yesterday. They locked him up. He turns 29 on Friday. He was due to hit free agency following the 2025 season. Not so fast. You're not going anywhere. They want him to be the catcher of the future in LA. Okay, moving on to more germane things here in San Diego. The Aztecs men's basketball team taking on UConn, the Huskies. 4:40 tip-off tonight. We have the entire day covered
4:39.
up. Is it what?
4:39.
Instead of 4:40, it's 4:39?
Yeah.
What?
What
in the world?
Why? Why is that?
Wait a second. Is
So-
that written down somewhere?
Yeah, that is because I asked our assistant program director, Michael Usher. I'm like, 4:39. Why not 4:40? Why not 4:30?
Okay, hang on. I'm going to ESPN. I'm clicking on the men's basketball schedule for today. I'm scrolling down. I'm scrolling. Okay, no, that's for yesterday. Why would that be up? Okay, here we go. UConn, 4:39 p.m. I kid you not.
You think I was making it up?
Listen, if this thing starts late, I'm gonna be furious.
Okay, by the way, this is bizarre. I'm so confused why they're doing this.
If you think it's confusing for you, like Brent and I have to work out the clocks for the pregame show, and usually we're working with nice even numbers.
So-
A 9 is tricky.
Clemson, Arizona at 4:09, San Diego State, UConn 4:39, Alabama, UNC 6:39, Illinois, Iowa State 7:09.
There's got to be a reason.
So
What is going on?
So Michael Usher, who is a wealth of knowledge, said that was told at one point that they do odd numbers like this so you don't forget them.
Yeah.
So if it was 4:30, it's forgettable. 4:39, it sticks with you.
That's interesting.
Right.
Do you know that Ush, a little bit of a cyclist?
Yeah.
So he has like I forget what they call them, road bikes, mountain bikes. I'm not into the cycling community. You ever look at his calves?
No.
He has every one of the calf muscles you're supposed to have. So like there was a time where I was walking behind him going to the break room, and I'm like, I don't have all. I'm missing like
I was just
three.
My calf is just like one lump.
Mine looks like a ham.
We got some
A
bad
furry
news.
ham.
Some real bad news for Travis Dale,
Yeah.
the Brixton wearing hat guy.
Yeah.
858 says the Cornhole Open in San Diego was back in February at the Town and Country.
Oh,
Golly.
my.
Why
We
did they
missed
change it?
by
God.
that much?
Why did they change it from June to February?
I can't believe as a card carrying member you didn't get on like the email list.
Yeah, you would have thought they would have sent me something.
To be honest with you, I get way too many emails to begin with. If the ACL starts sending me email blasts,
I won't see them.
I mean, there's close to zero chance. By the way, anyways, my inbox is filled up with order purchases from all the Instagram ads that I'm buying from.
You want one of those little slow drop ice cube makers?
I'll give you another. I'll give you another example of how.
What?
Okay,
The ones that it's like metal and you put a block of ice into the metal and then it makes the perfect sphere out of it.
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like the like a mold.
a mold. Yeah,
I
yeah.
promise
Ice
you
cube
Rich
mold.
has one.
Yeah, but it's made of
I
like
have
copper.
two. I have two.
You
of
have
those.
copper molds?
I have two of them. I don't know if they're copper. There might be copper lined, but I have two
Right.
of those, and I couldn't tell you where they are in my house right now because they have been probably replaced with the football silicone molds that I bought for one of our Bar Cart Fridays that we never actually used.
Well, it turns out you have to freeze them before we come in. We don't have a freezer that'll make it freeze that fast.
Well, maybe we should go out and get one. That's all I'm
And we
saying.
get-
Okay, but I'm going to give you a great example of like how suggestion works. I go to a Starbucks. Okay, this is yesterday. No, this was this week. It wasn't yesterday. But earlier in the week, I go to Starbucks and I'm getting a coffee for myself. I'm on the phone with Ann. She's waffling over what order she wants. While she's doing that, I'm looking at the shelving that everybody walks past with all the thermal mugs,
Mhm.
all of the stuff you can purchase. all of a sudden in the corner, I mean, it is covered in
Wait.
dust.
Oh, duh. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else because there was something at Starbucks where I'm like, I should probably buy this.
So check this out. I'll bring it in. We could do this as an experiment at work.
He bought it.
I did buy it.
Mm.
This, I blow the dust off the top of this cold brew coffee maker.
Oh, wow.
So this is what you do. You take like regular ground coffee, you put it in this like it's a filter, but it's seated right in the middle of the water.
We got
that you
one of
put
them.
in. You have one too?
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
From Starbucks?
I don't think so. I think it was from Amazon, but it works like a charm.
Oh, dude, yeah. So I did this already once, and it worked. Like you just put the grounds in the filter into the water, and then you sit it in your refrigerator for 36 hours. It makes the strongest cup of cold brew you'll ever have in your life.
Makes you see triple.
Well, so at Starbucks right now, they're selling olive oil.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
But it looks like they're in little oil cans.
This close to
Yeah,
purchasing
oh my
those.
God, but they're
if it weren't,
expensive.
by the way, if it weren't for the cold brew carafe, I was buying that.
Okay.
Because I was just busy. I was just keeping busy while Anne's like, I don't know if I want the shaken brown sugar oat milk espresso or so. Anyways, that's
What you got there, Flex? You got was that paintball?
No, this is primetimes.golf.
Oh,
we got
oh,
a couple
it's-
minutes.
oh,
if
I
you guys
gotcha.
want to talk about more
No,
purchases
no,
at
hang on, hang on,
Starbucks
hang
or
on.
I don't
No,
know,
I wanna
like,
see-
you know,
we got-
opening day.
no.
Yeah.
I
How
want
about the
to steer
Sweet
us back.
16?
I know.
Well, it's our home opener.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We're already veterans. We got 2 games in the books.
I do want to steer us back to the Padres because I want to talk about their merchandise for sale. No, I'm kidding. No, I do want to comment on this fact that my halftime kind of got lifted by my propensity to get distracted by the shiny objects.
Sorry.
But Will Smith signing with the Dodgers in
Parents just don't understand.
they don't. You know, he was born in West Philadelphia.
On a playground where he spent most of his days
Yeah, just chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool.
shooting some b-ball outside of the school.
There's a couple of guys. They're up to no good.
He started making trouble in his neighborhood.
And my auntie got
They got one little fight.
And his mom got scared.
Yeah.
said, you
So
move
he's-
with your auntie and uncle and below.
Wait. Do you know this story?
Yes, I know the story.
Because it was right then when he whistled for a cab, and when it came near, the license plate said fresh, and it had dice in the mirror.
Okay, so Will Smith signed a 10-year, $140 million contract with the Dodgers, which everybody goes, oh my gosh, so the rich get richer. Not so fast. Maybe there's a way. You know how sometimes like you think to yourself, like, okay, how are we going to defeat this monster?
Mhm.
Like, or, you know, like you watch those movies where it's like the dragon guarding the golden coins, and it's like, how do we get past him? It's like, he's going to eat us. And you just feed him until he gets so full he takes a nap. Maybe what the Padres should do is trade a couple of their superstars to the Dodgers so that they have to spend a lot of money on them as well. And then
Yes.
all of a sudden the dragon's full, it takes a nap, you sneak up on it, stab it in the eyeball, and you escape the cave with your lives.
Figured it out.
Okay.
We figured it out.
How about you just score more runs?
Subterfuge. What'd you say?
How about the Padres just play to their abilities this year instead of like falling apart like last year? And maybe you'll go
Oh,
500
hold
against the
on,
Dodgers.
hold on. We spent
Or-
a lot of time last season
Or you
saying
could trade Machado back to the Dodgers.
See, I think that's a bad idea.
for $1
Rich.
billion.
Yeah.
Tell you what the Padres do need to do, and
We
that's
have
play
good
some more
ideas.
golf. They need to hit the road this season. When they're on the road, you can come together when you play golf. That's how the three of us really came together
The
on this
Beatles.
show and became best friends. Is we were able to not listen to the Beatles and we were able to go out to the golf course and enjoy each other's company. So get on over to primetimes.golf today. Sign up. It's a dating app for salespeople. Begin your next client relationship on a golf course with an ideal prospect who you select and who accepts your invitation. You can meet up for golf, expand your network within your industry, your role, or your community and networking golf groups. You can secure tee times for golf with clients or partners at beautiful golf courses weeks in advance. Steel Canyon's on there.
You know what?
Coronado's on there.
And
Arrowwood's on there.
We've been to all of those.
Mhm.
Steel Canyon, we've been out many times. I'm telling you, my favorite hole on that course is that one where you have to almost like pitch putt it over the canyon. Holy smokes. If you're gonna have a business meeting, especially during the March tournament, you're gonna want to do it at Steel Canyon.
And
Through
primetimes.golf.
Golf.
Steel Canyon's coming up first week of April. So get on over to primetimes.golf today. Free to sign up. You'll see golf available next week at Steel Canyon. You can sign up, pay the green fee, secure your spot, and play. And you're going to network with 16 other people and play one of the hidden gems in the area. And of course, There will be open seating afterwards in the clubhouse where you can get food and drinks with your friends. Log on to primetimes.golf today. Sign up is free, and then choose if you want to sign up for a tee time already available to secure your spot, or you could sign up for Value Golf, which is basically $110 for 3 rounds of golf in a month. You're not going to beat that anywhere. Primetimes.golf. Primetimes.golf. Uncle Teddy Lightner coming up next.
Aztecs tip off today at 4:39 against UConn in the Sweet 16. We got the voice of the Aztecs, Teddy Lightner, joining us next.
This update is presented by Superstar Car Wash. Busy day here on 760. The three of us, we're going to stay on until 10 a.m. today. Darren Smith Show from 10 to 1 from the Blind Burro downtown, getting you ready for opening day. John and Jim, they're also at the Blind Burro downtown from 1 to 4. 4 o'clock, coverage of Aztecs Hoops begins. They're in the Sweet 16 today, taking on UConn with a shot at the Elite Eight on the line. And at 4:39, Ted Leitner, who joins us next, by the way, is on the call for Aztecs Huskies. Going to be an awesome day here in San Diego. It's spring savings at Superstar Car Wash. Lock in unlimited car washes for just $15 a month while the clean plan, March 28th through April 1st, available at any location or online. Visit superstarcarwash.com for details. Terms and conditions do apply.
Yeah, we're gonna be staying on here all day long. Well, not us, but no national coverage. It's gonna be all local.
I'll be on 2 to 3.
Oh, you'll be on 2 to 3.
Mhm.
Okay, you're going 2 to 3. And then at 4 o'clock, we start our pregame coverage. Tip off for the Aztecs 4:39. We still got a lot to do here today. We're going to be on till 10, so you get a bonus round of Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, which means that we could give out Social D tickets anytime we want.
Anytime we want.
Yeah,
we
it's
have
crazy.
4 hours to do it. We've only spent an hour and a half on air, so that gives us 2.5 hours left.
Perfect. I'm sure we'll remember to do it. We always do.
Yeah, we almost never wait until the end of the show
No.
because we think to ourselves, like, we want to spread the wealth.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, on that bent, how about we do this? Listen to this Ted Leitner conversation really, really carefully, and maybe there'll be a code word that we're
Okay.
going to use to give away either one, the $50 gift card or the Social D tickets.
$50 gift card to Islands. And then we have Social D tickets. They're going to be at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater on April 12th.
Okay, so busy day here in San Diego. Obviously, the Padres playing in the gas lamp, but probably, definitely, more importantly, the Aztecs are going to the Sweet 16. Okay, we are hours away from tip-off. Big deal. UConn, the rematch from last year, the team that knocked them out of the national championship a year ago. Huskies, Aztecs, tip-off 4:40 and
4:39.
4:39 exactly. Be promptly there. You may miss a lot of action. 4:39 tip-off from Boston, and the man who's going to be there courtside to take in all the action and deliver via our station right here, Ted Leitner, the voice of the Aztecs, been on the call for nearly 40 years with this team. Ted, I guess the place I want to start is the place we should start. After all these years covering all these Aztecs teams, how special is it to see a team go to back-to-back Sweet 16s?
I personally have never seen it. And now it just seems like every year it's a bigger accomplishment, a greater accomplishment. It's never easy. It's never easy. It's the same thing in sports. They always say you have to learn how to win, and then you have to get to a playoff, and then you have to, it's harder to return to the playoff, and all those things. And they're not cliches, like Muhammad Ali said. If they're true, they ain't a cliche. And that's exactly what this team, this program, Steve Fisher always said that. We're not a team, we're a program. There's a difference. We do it year after year after year, and that's a fact. This is their 11th out of the last 14 years, and here they are in the Sweet 16 for the fourth time. And like you said, first time back-to-back is just one more accomplishment, one more step to being, quite frankly, I mean, it's not UCLA. Look at the winning percentage over the last 15 years. It's Gonzaga and it's San Diego State. They are the powerhouses of the West Coast. And I got to tell you, as a fan, I know the fans take great pride in this. They love this program so much. And as a broadcaster, I've been so lucky to have this kind of a run, this kind of a program, this kind of a coaching staff and team. I can't begin to tell you how wonderful it's been.
Hey, Teddy, we've been kind of talking about this, and this has been a bit of the narrative, actually, that this is almost a home game for UConn because it's so close to their home turf. But you've been out there for a little bit now. Are you seeing some San Diego State Aztec gear around?
Oh, no question. No question. I mean, there are Aztec fans, like 495,000 around the world, and there's bunches of them here. Not like, of course, in Houston for the Final Four or the championship game, where the university had extra charter planes that cost a fortune to bring the show, if you remember, and tons of fans. It's not like that. It's a long way to go. And not that Houston was not, but this is twice as far. So yeah, I see him. I do. I see him. But this is, like you said, it's a home game. This is a drive or a short flight for the people in Storrs, Connecticut. Not that it's easy to get in and out of Storrs, Connecticut, having been there myself during the time that I covered TV sports in Hartford. I mean, UConn is a big deal. They consider themselves a blue blood. I don't know that college basketball, considering, Duke and North Carolina and teams like that, consider them yet, but they are the best. And just like the Aztecs are in back-to-back Sweet 16s, these guys have a chance to be in back-to-back championships, and that hasn't happened in a long time.
Ted, when you look at the Aztecs, John and I like to play this game on the pregame show where we say who is the most important not named Jaden Ledee player on San Diego State going into the game, because it's always Jaden, right? But when you look at this matchup, who do you think is the next guy on the Aztecs who has to have the stellar game in order for them to topple the giant that is UConn?
Lamont Butler. See, I believe, I don't believe it. It's always been this way. Bigs are great. And this game's got a couple of bigs that are big and terrific. And you mentioned one, Jaden Ledee. But guard play is always huge. That's why if you see the guard play in the Mountain West tournament in the first two games and the two games in Spokane for the NCAA, Lamont and Darian Trammell have been terrific. And that has to happen. And I think it was Jay Wright, the former Villanova coach, who's now on one of the networks, he made the comment about that very same thing, that if those two that I just mentioned, number 5, number 12, they shoot like they did in the Mountain West and in the first two games last week, then San Diego State has a chance to win this game. That's very, very important. They're going to bang on Ledee, whether they double him or not, because they have a guy 7'2", 280 pounds. Watch number 32, Klingon, and Donovan Klingon. He's not their best player at 7'2" and 280. He's not their best player. He's not their top scorer. He's not their top anything, except not even, last time I looked, not even in rebounding. But he's going to be against Ledee. We'll see if they double him in the paint. But that's going to be the deal. Can the Aztec guards make shots, distribute the ball, handle a press? And if that's the case, they can stay with them all night long.
Aztecs have a 4:39 tip-off live from Boston at TD Garden. You're going to hear all that action here on San Diego Sports 760. We will start our pregame coverage at 4 o'clock with John Schaefer and Ben Fletcher, leading right into the voice you're currently hearing on our show. Ted Leitner, the voice of the Aztecs, has been for 39 years. And again, like you said, this is something you've never seen before. Aztecs going to back-to-back Sweet 16s. Here's the problem. The rest of the country thinks the road ends here for the Aztecs. So I do a show that we talk a lot about sports betting on the weekends for Fox Sports Radio. I was just given some insights from a BetMGM PR manager talking about these games here in March in the tournament. The most bet team is North Carolina at whatever it is, being favored by 4.5 in their game. Right after that, it's UConn being favored by double digits, 11.5. Right. The most bet game in general is this San Diego State UConn game, and the most bet over is this San Diego State UConn game. Now, I mean, putting wagers aside, the fact that the rest of the country, or at very least the betting public, thinks that the Aztecs are going down. What does that do to this team, especially being influenced by Brian Dutcher, knowing that they're such a serious underdog in this affair?
When you ask that question, and I don't. I mean, to go in there and say, you guys are really scared.
What? Wait,
you guys are really scared. Huh? This is a team that is not awed by this. This is a team that has been to the championship game, and yes, it was Connecticut last year. They have been on national television. They are San Diego State. They are, you can see in terms of the seeding of the other Mountain West clubs, San Diego State is the Mountain West when it comes to basketball. And that's not their play-by-play guy wearing red and black or waving a red and black flag. It's absolutely the way you saw. Everybody's a 10, a 10, a 10, and 11. And the Aztecs are a 5 seed because not just who they play and Dutch will play anybody, while many other Mountain West schools, play, Louisiana Tech and whomever, and Colorado State Pueblo and all these other teams, and they get those big numbers in terms of their record, and the NCAA says, come on, you haven't played anyone, and you're not that good, and you don't play well every single year. Like last year, 0-11 in the NCAA. That league we know is San Diego State, and they have that attitude. It's that been there, we've done that. They just smile when the media in these news conferences here and in the Spokane make those kind of comments that we got experienced people. We got Jaden Ledee.
Yeah.
We got shooters like Micah Parrish and Reese Waters who have been slumping, but they must have to shoot tonight in addition to what I mentioned about the backcourt. And they're not intimidated by this. They're not. I'm not saying they're going to win, but they have a chance to win. They have to make shots. This club is a tremendous rebounding club. It's number 7 in the country, Connecticut, +8. That's enormous. +8 rebounds per game. Yes, they shoot better than the Aztecs. They shoot the 3 better than the Aztecs. A better rebounding club. And what was the comment by Mike Greenberg okay, on the network? Hey, Connecticut, if they played in the NBA in the Eastern Conference, they'd be a playoff team in the NBA.
Oh, get the hell out of here. Are you kidding me? Mike Greenberg, this is a Connecticut hunk. This is a guy, I mean, he's getting high on his own supply out there, Teddy.
and my comment to that was,
Yes.
Hey, Mike, what you been smoking?
I love you.
Then of course later, the next day he said, I was only kidding. But give him credit. He got a lot of attention for that. He got a lot of attention. Bottom line, the Aztecs played their best game. Hey, they played these guys last year, right? They didn't score a single shot in 10 exact minutes, and they were 5 points down with 5 to play. And I'm not saying they're as good as that Aztec team, because they're not, of course. But this club makes shots the way they rebound and the way they defend. I'll say it for the 1,000th time. They can be right there with a chance to win the ball game. That's not a hometown call. That's a basketball call. And I truly, truly believe that.
Love it. Love it. Hey, you know what? Before we let you go, one thing we've kind of been combing through, a question I think everybody's looking for an answer on. Why 4:39 tip off? You have the answer on that? I mean, why not just click it over to 4:40?
Yeah.
The answer to that is TBS, TBS, or TNT, or CBS, or CBS. Television is the 1,000-pound gorilla that constantly tells you what time you're going to play. And then if they want to stretch it because they have a previous game, which is not the case tonight, of course, just the first game, then they'll stretch it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. TV pays the money, and in this case, billions through the years, with all this group of networks with CBS at the very top of it. This is a multi-billion-dollar deal. It really is. And so they say you play, and you play at that time. Not that it matters. I mean, Hurley was bitching because he said, hey, we're Connecticut. How come we're not in the evening game?
Yeah.
How come we're not in the second game? I mean, Hurley's the kind of guy that,
Yeah.
If you hung, as they say in Oklahoma, if you hung him with a new rope, he'd bitch.
Dude, Ted, like we literally early this week, we were saying the exact same thing. I mean, Brian Dutcher, with the humility that he's approached this game with, and they're a great team, and with deference to the tournament, and I'll be nervous, but my guys will be ready. That's the great thing about being young. And then you have Dan Hurley going, hey, we're not flying first class during the tournament. Are you kidding me?
He literally said the selection committee is trying to make it as hard on us as possible. They're playing an hour and a half away from their campus. It makes no sense.
Listen, I don't know, Ted. I don't know.
Yeah. And Hurley, by the way, I don't know him, but I know people who know him, and they tell me he does that. He does that to fire up his troops. He's afraid they'll be complacent. He knows they know how good they are and all that stuff. And he does that he constantly does it from the first day of practice. It's us against them. They're picking on us. They show us no respect. They don't even think we're a blue blood. We're a blue blood, damn it, and they won't treat us that way. He constantly uses that as an inspirational kind of a thing to put on the blackboard and all that to get his troops all fired up. But you're right in terms of the contrast. You have a good cop and a bad cop. You have the bad cop in Hurley. You have the good cop in Dutch. When I work with Dutch and I travel with Dutch and I dine with Dutch at pregame meals, I think of Mike Riley when he was the coach of the Chargers, and John Robinson made the comment one time, the USC coach who had coached with Mike. He said, Mike is the kind of guy that when he gets a flat tire, he gets out and he admires the tree that still have air in them. That kind of positive guy. That kind of positive guy who never complains. As Coach Robinson said, you get to heaven and Mike Riley's not there, you're in trouble because you ain't in heaven. Same thing with Dutch, same thing with Steve Fisher. These are men I've been so proud to call friend and been with, and the Aztecs are very, very lucky to have them. And Dutch has been, hey, here he is with a chance to take them to the Final Four, take them to the Elite Eight again, and the odds are against them. There have been bigger upsets, I assure you, than San Diego State over Connecticut.
I love that. I love to hear that. Final words from Ted Leitner right there before he takes a quick afternoon nap and gets himself ready to call this game, or I should say late morning on the East Coast. Buddy, we can't wait to hear the call. We're all rooting for the Aztecs, as you know. Thank you for spending a little time this morning with us.
Richie, Fletch, anytime, boys. Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs indeed. There he goes. Ted Leitner,
right.
The voice of the Aztecs. We love it. We love it. Okay, you know what else we love? We love the fact that together as a group, we were goofing around. We were trying to lose weight on our own and do it as in most entertaining way we could possibly think of, right? We tried the keto diet for a week. We tried the carnivore diet for a week. We tried veganism for a week.
Shockingly difficult, by the way.
That actually only lasted 2 days.
I think veganism?
Yeah,
I didn't even. I just lied to you guys.
Okay, yeah. So you guys didn't do it. I lasted 2 days. It didn't work. Look, the point we're trying to make is we were terrible at dieting. We needed a different path. So we got connected with sdfatloss.com here actually through iHeart San Diego. And we thought to ourselves, like, there is absolutely no way this is going to work for us. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, we weren't going to. This is how it worked out. They said, you're not allowed to start reading advertisements for this company until you lose 10 pounds.
Yep.
And we're like, well, looks like we're never going to read ads for this company.
Yeah.
I swear to God, that was the conversation we had with our sales team here. We all lost 10 pounds within 4 days.
That is absolutely true.
It was incredible. The weight for us poured off of our bodies because first and foremost, we were super fatsos. Second of all, their strategy really works.
Somehow on our fat diets, we actually gained weight.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. But with SDFatLoss.com, their weight loss team, Wayne and Chloe, not only did they show us a way to lose weight, but they showed us how to lose weight the natural way. Like the way that's sustainable, the way that you're not going to lose all the weight and gain it back. That's called yo-yo dieting. Not good for your body, not good for your heart in particular. So if you want to avoid all that, if you want to lose weight and keep it off, because I dropped over 35 pounds, TD over 30. Fletch, he's over 40 pounds down. It's insanely successful. And not just for us. We've heard it from many of the people who have signed up with SD Fat Loss via Instagram or Twitter or anywhere on our direct messages. We've heard it from a bunch of our listeners who signed up with Wayne and Chloe. They said, yeah, I'm losing weight too. It's incredibly successful. So if you want to lose weight, right? And now's the time because it's t-shirt and shorts weather. It's just around the corner. It's opening day for the baseball team, right? I mean, we're here. We're about to be on the beach pretty soon here. It's time to drop the unwanted pounds. Do it with SDFatLoss.com. Back to it. You know what we're talking about all day long. Padres, home opener, Aztecs in the Sweet 16. More next. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch here with you. San Diego Sports 760. You hear that frontier music? Well, we are embarking on a new frontier. This Aztecs team doing something it's never done before. Back-to-back Sweet 16.
Woo! I gotta tell you, this is one of my favorites here of the royalty free. Wait, did we play this one already?
We feel like we're
It
about
feels
to.
like it's a cross between City Slickers and Soaring Over California.
And there's a little Harry Potter to it.
Oh, a little bit.
Oh, yeah, when they're playing Quidditch, maybe.
Or like as the train, the Hogwarts Express is coming into town.
Yeah. Ah, right there, children. It's Hogsmeade Village, where we can buy our goods and wares. And also, the broomsticks, they're out of control.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Next up,
Wait, is the beat gonna drop?
TD Garden in Boston for a $4.39 tip. Actually, it's $4.39 3/4.
Tickets.
And we're out of time.
All right, so
Wait,
coming
whoa,
up
whoa.
next.
That was our quick Harry Potter segment.
Yeah, look, we have it written on the rundown,
Wait,
so I'm
was-
glad we
what-
hit that.
Was there a keyword that we pulled out of that?
Actually, yeah. If
He
you were
said it twice. It was great.
Yeah, I know.
if you were listening, Ted Leitner's keyword to win the tickets to Social D is sheesh.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Sheesh. So that's
But
what
you
he
do
said.
have to say it like he said it.
Oh, yeah. When you call Fletch, we're going to tell you what time to call here coming up on the other side. If you want to go see Social Disorder over at North Island Credit Union Amphitheater.
Or distortion.
Gosh, dang it. I always call him Social D.
Yeah.
Social Distortion with Bad Religion. You got to go see them, and you will, as long as you have that code word. You got to say that to Fletch the exact same way Teddy looked.
Sheesh.
There you have it. Say it just like that to Fletch, and you're going to win those tickets. But we'll give you the time to call here in a little bit. First, I want to talk to everybody about my dentist, Dr. Jordan Colby. All right, this guy, he's really kind of, I don't want to overstate it. Look, I know we're talking about my dentist here, but he changed my life. So I had a bunch of cracked molars from not wearing my mouthpiece like I was supposed to during my NFL career. I cracked a bunch of these molars.
You
And
maniac.
they got infected. It was just hard to talk with it in my mouth. So I would like leave it on the sideline. I would go and shout all the line calls. And then, of course, you get socked in the chin and you break some teeth and stuff like that. Anyways, my mouth was a mess after playing for 6 years. And, you get cavities, these teeth get bad. And then I needed to have one of them extracted and I needed 3 implants to put in. So as a result, what ended up happening is I started asking the dentist that I currently went to, and they were just like, well, look, this is going to take 1.5 years for us to do this. Well, what ended up happening is I went to Dr. Jordan Colby on a referral from a good friend here, LaDonna Harvey, who works at Kogo News. And she's like, no, he can do it. And she's like, I guarantee it'll take less time than that. And I was like, I don't know. And I got to go to all these different offices. I'm telling you, I went to Dr. Jordan Colby's office. He told me it was 3 months. It was 3 months to the day. He told me that I would only have to go to his office. It was only to his office. Okay. So best dentist I've ever had. Only dentist my family will use. Dr. Jordan Colby. Visit him at oceanviewdental.net. That's oceanviewdental.net.
We're gonna have to get to the text line when we get back. By the way, it is maybe the most spot on text we've ever had in our lives.
What's happening here? What's happened here?
Listen, there's orcas involved. There's royalty free music. There's Aztecs. There's Padres coming up next.
It's hour 3 on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, and guess what? We got 4 hours today, so don't you go anywhere. This update presented by Allstate. It's a busy day on 760. I just mentioned we will be on the air until 10 a.m., so don't go anywhere. Darren Smith is going to take over as soon as we're done, right at 10. He's going to be on till 1 from the Blind Burro downtown, getting you ready for opening day. John and Jim will take over for him at 1 o'clock. They're going till 4 because at 4, our coverage for San Diego State and UConn begins. They're playing in the Sweet 16 with a shot at the Elite 8 on the line. 4:39 is the tip-off. Ted Leitner's on the call. Teddy was just on our show. He was great. We'll get that posted to the podcast soon. Padres home openers today. Major League Baseball gets the 2024 season going. Padres have the Giants today at Petco Park. 1:10 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you, and with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you can save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Yeah, happy Thursday to those who celebrate a very special Thursday here on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. We figured it out. We figured it out.
That's right.
So we play a lot on royalty-free music here on San Diego Sports 760. There's a good reason for that we don't need to go into full detail on. However, we've realized that we're not the only ones who play royalty-free music. In fact, many other companies will use royalty-free music. In fact, one here in San Diego uses this very song.
Well,
yeah, we're not.
It does sound exactly like it. Who texted in the 858?
It was
Okay.
615.
Oh, 615.
So the 615 sends us this message just moments ago. Hey, gang, that sounds like the warm-up song to the Orca show at SeaWorld.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us here at SeaWorld San Diego. The orca, or some refer to as the killer whale, is a toothed whale, the largest member of the oceanic dolphin family.
If you're sitting right here in rows 1 through 7, you're in the splash zone. Hope you brought
Now, that orca is actually saying hello and good morning. They make that sound as well as other clicks and whistles underwater to communicate. I love when they switch over to Espanol. Like, so they're like, if you're seated in the splash zone, please tuck away any personal belongings. A lo siento.
Yeah, but it's like the same dude. Like, I want it to be like an actual, like, I want the ethnicity there. Because it's like at Disneyland when it's like, remain seated, please. Permanece centavos, por favor.
Yeah, that's right. When you're in Frontierland, it's like, it just sounds like a gringo saying the same thing. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Travis Dale was that guy.
God, I wish I was
You
the
worked at
voiceover
Disney for
guy.
a while.
Did, yeah. I only did voiceover stuff
You've
in
done
Spanish.
So many things. I think about, like, so my life, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've done
You did
stuff.
cool things.
I've done stuff. Like, yeah, but
Rich, you played in the NFL. You were
Yeah.
drafted by Bill Belichick.
Right.
Everything you're about to say
Right.
is invalid.
No,
I printed tickets.
hang on a second. Hang on.
I've had one big boy job in my life.
Okay, but-
This should be me making this complaint.
All right. But what I'm saying is I was on one track. Like, I just did one thing. And yeah, it went okay, but TD has lived like so many different lives.
I mean, yeah. I
He
mean,
was a
I was,
tradesman and electrician.
He was a dishwasher.
He was a dishwasher at a country club.
Right,
He
right.
worked at SeaWorld for like 10 years and somehow also simultaneously has worked in radio for 20 years.
I worked at Disney for like 2 years.
He's only-
Hang on, folks. Here's the wildest ride in the wilderness. You want to hang on to them hats and glasses?
Woo! Holy smokes. All right. Well, listen.
Please keep your arms and hands inside the train at all times.
No easy segues here. Big sports day here in San Diego.
The wildest ride in college basketball, man.
Oh
You're
my
in the
gosh.
Sweet 16. That's
Yeah.
something that not a lot of schools have been able to say over the course of college basketball history.
It's so that's accurate. Like just in general, we're talking about 350 plus teams.
Yeah.
How many teams have been to the Sweet 16? Boy, you're whittling the field to a small selective
All right.
group.
By the
and
way-
then whittle it a little smaller. How many have been to back-to-back Sweet 16s?
Boy. Now
God.
we're getting into like, what is there, 10?
Maybe 20.
Okay. I
You
mean,
think- you
it's
think-
crazy.
P. Diddy right now, who's on the run, every time he hears Sweet 16, it's like, my God.
I've made a big mistake with my life.
I don't even think you can joke about that.
No, well, no. I mean, he did
Wait,
it, not us.
What? Yeah, it wasn't me. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Allegedly.
By the way, like I said earlier, no easy segues. If you have that code word from Ted Leitner earlier during our interview, you're going to want that in about 3 minutes. Okay. So
Orcas are apex predators.
if you were listening to our last interview with Ted Leitner, which was awesome, hearing Teddy all fired up for a ball game that's going to tip off in 6 hours, it was incredible. He's juiced. The whole city's juiced. I mean, you got Padres opening day at Petco Park here in town, and then across this great nation, we have the Aztecs tipping off very shortly after that at 4:39 to be exact. Local time, that's Pacific Standard Time. We get to enjoy the
It's
Aztecs.
actually daylight time. Pacific daylight time.
That's right, PDT, not
Yeah.
PST.
Speaking of abbreviations, 858 text in, Rich and TD talking are perfect examples of ADD and ADHD.
Yeah, it is. It's worse.
Can't help it. Come on, we're all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
It's been good. Yeah. So
We got Padres, we got Aztecs,
we have social distortion tickets.
we got Islands gift cards.
Yeah, it's all happening, guys. So yes, have that code word. Leave it on standby. We'll tell you when to call in just a few moments. But I wanted to talk specifically about this Aztecs team after having that chat with Teddy Leitner. So he said something interesting. He commented on something that we mentioned earlier in the week about Dan Hurley. Now, we were teasing Dan Hurley because he's like, the committee has screwed us at every turn. I can't believe how bad they've set up the tournament for us. But he said something interesting. He was like, he's using it as motivation, guys. He's trying to make it so that his team is all fired up because he's got a great squad on his hands. So how do you get a great team to play even better? How do you keep a great team from getting complacent? You have to create some sort of imaginary adversity.
I do think that the committee, has tried to make this as difficult as they can on us to do it. The Florida Atlantic, Northwestern, 8-9, obviously, the Auburn, San Diego State, and Illinois, and what they look like with Iowa State. We know what they, we know what they had in mind, and it just, it's more fuel on the fire.
Yeah. So, guess what? You're a really good team, and they put a lot of really good teams in your side of the bracket.
I'm
And-
so glad you're making those noises. Do you know what I have that sound saved in the system as? Dan Hurley being a wimp.
Yeah.
Give me a break. But hold on though.
Yeah.
When you are a UConn, when you are the favorite, when you are the number one, it does take a bit of a stretch to try to find those locker room pieces to put up there. This one is just lame.
It is a little
It
bit.
sounds soft to me. Like I know what Ted's saying, and I think even Dan Hurley in that interview earlier, he was like, I'm looking for some stuff to motivate our team and things like that. But this is soft. You're playing an hour and a half away from your home. Why not say, you know what? I got the most confidence in our guys. Like, we're going to go out there. This is going to be a home game for us. We're going to stomp the Aztecs.
Well, here's the problem. It depends on the group you have in the locker room. So if you have a group of entitled basketball players who you have a hard time motivating, even though they play great basketball, but you just know who they are at practice. This is a team that's a little lazy, that rests on their laurels, that knows how talented they are and plays with their food a little bit. Well, that's a problem for you. So if you're Dan Hurley, you got to know your personnel. Now, Brian Dutcher knows that he has a hungry team. He knows that the Aztecs, the basketball players he has in the locker room, he knows that they're not going to go out and look at UConn and go, we're going to roll these fools, no problem. But Dan Hurley may look at his locker room and go, we've got way too much confidence. Like I have to I have to impact upon these athletes in this locker room that we are in the toughest corner of this bracket. And if they screw around, we're going to get knocked out.
I'd also say Dan Hurley knows that San Diego State did not play good in the national championship a year
Bingo.
ago. And with 5 minutes left in that game, it was a 5-point game.
Ted brought it up in the interview also. He goes, check this out. There was a scoring drought. And he was like, and this is obviously the opposite of the way you want a national championship game to go, of exactly 10 minutes.
Wow.
The Aztecs didn't score a point for 10 full minutes during that game against UConn in the national championship game. And still, like you just pointed out, within 5 minutes, they were within 5 points of beating UConn. So that says a lot. That wasn't their best game, and they still were able to keep it close down the stretch. Now, obviously, they opened it back up, and they scored, and they
San Diego State started fouling with like
Yeah.
2 minutes left to try to extend the game, and UConn made all their free throws, and that artificially, I think, ballooned up the score a little bit. But San Diego State was right there. And if you listen to Jaden Ledee and Darion Trammell talk earlier this week, they're talking about how they're itching to get another shot at UConn because they felt while they were on the court that they were right there.
right there.
And if you remember at the end of the year, especially in the tournament, that's when Darion was playing his best basketball of all last year. And he's been doing it again this year. It's been sneaking up. But in the Mountain West tournament, he was great. In the first 2 games here in March Madness, he's been great. And Jaden Ledee, if you remember, towards the back half of the March Madness tournament last year, that's when he started getting more playing time. It was like Jaden Ledee was just a bench piece for most of the year. And then Dutch kind of realized at one point, he was like, he's going to be an All-American next year. This guy's incredible. Look at his shoulders. And then he started getting him in the game. And against UConn, Jaden was one of the better players on San Diego State.
Fletch, you are our, I would say, resident college basketball nut here. So yesterday you were making a case that the Aztecs win this thing. Where do you gauge it right now? Where's your feeling?
Look, I've said this a lot of times this week. San Diego State could play a perfect basketball game and lose to UConn. Like, that can happen. UConn is that good. And that's kind of just what I want everyone to go in knowing what this afternoon is going to feel like. However, I was making the case to somebody else for how the Aztecs win. And when I did that, I convinced myself that San Diego State's going to win this game coming up later today. And it's all about keeping UConn scoring down and keeping those extended runs down. It's going to take a few things going really right for the Aztecs. Thing number one, and they've proven they've been able to do it through 2 games in March Madness, it cannot be a slow start for San Diego State. If you're playing from behind against UConn, UConn will win because UConn will be able to just stretch that out, and they don't go on scoring droughts. Thing number two, if you can keep this game under 70 points, and what I mean by that is both teams scoring in the 60s, both teams scoring in the 50s even. Make this a rock fight. Make it an ugly basketball game.
Yep.
San Diego State has the advantage.
Now, I would argue that if San Diego State plays a perfect game, UConn scores 0 points.
Yeah. You know what? You ascertained correctly. Play the music, Fletch.
God, that feels good.
Thank you.
Feels real good.
All we need from our Aztecs is a perfect game. Scoreless on the board for UConn. 150 points from the Aztecs, averaging 75 points a half.
Now, the other thing Ted told us, which I thought was great, and Mark Ziegler wrote about this in the UT this morning, talked about the guard play. Like, if Lamont Butler and Darion Trammell and Micah Parrish are able to really stifle UConn defensively with their guards, it's going to be a better night for San Diego State. Now, when you think about what the Aztecs have done this year, defensively, their metrics are near the top 15 in KenPom. They have been all season long. And a lot of that is because of the guards. Like, they don't have the shot blocker of Nathan Mensah that they had last year who can make up for a bunch of mistakes on the back end. What they have is excellent on-ball defense thanks to those 3 guards.
Yeah. Mistakes on the back end.
Never.
You're
I
saying,
do
saying a lot of things right.
I knew you were going to say that.
No,
What?
I love steaks. I love them.
Mistakes.
Oh,
Mistakes
God, yeah.
on the back end.
But it'd be bad if you missed a stake, though, on the back end.
Wouldn't want that. On to the Padres. I want to ask you guys a specific question about the San Diego Padres this year. And we can open up this to the text line. But before we do, I do want to offer at exactly 8:20. 8:20 is when you need to call in 877-767-4760 with that keyword or code word from Teddy Leitner. You call in with that, you're going to see Social Distortion and Bad Religion. Okay, so 8:20 is when you call that number, not a second sooner, otherwise Fletch will hang up on you. Okay, the Padres. When I look at the Padres and I think to myself, opening day, right? Split the series against the Dodgers, clean slate here, 160 games left in their season. What are my expectations of the Padres? Because my hope is that the San Diego State Aztecs win this game in the Sweet 16. My expectation is that at very least they keep it close with the Huskies. Okay, so that's my hope and expectation there.
Right.
My hope for the Padres is that they make good on the promise that Peter Seidler made before he passed away, which was the 2020s are going to be about winning championships. My expectation, however, is this is going to be really difficult for a team that looked as bad as they did with the level of talent that they had a year ago. Now, that's just being a realist. I'm not trying to throw water on the home opener parade that we're all enjoying and having right now, because hope springs eternal, and it is the spring. And in baseball, you have the whole season ahead of you. But I'm worried about the razor-thin margins we're operating on. They have a starting 9 that includes Farrell Merrill, who's
like
Jackson
that,
Merrill
though.
is brand new to baseball.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's good, but at the same token, like we really
He's 20.
He's 20.
Well-
we need him to be great.
Well, see, that's the rub. See, I mean, we're kind of grasping at something that I don't know if say the Dodgers, if Farrell Merrill was on the Dodgers, would they be talking about Farrell Merrill right now? He would just be kind of a bonus.
He
Right.
wouldn't
Where-
be on the Major League Baseball team.
Yeah, there's that.
He would be in Double-A.
There's that though.
He should be in Double-A right now with the Padres. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he completely proves me wrong, and he's
Yeah.
wise beyond his years, and he comes out and mashes 25 home runs this year. He's
Which
hitting somewhere
would-
around 280.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Look, that'd be
awesome.
great. But when you're talking about somebody who could be a generational talent in a few years, which I think Jackson Merrill is, if you're talking about somebody who could be that big of a difference maker in a couple years, why would you take a risk to stifle some of his growth now by rushing him up to the big league club? I just don't like the move. I'm not alone with that. One of the guys on Mad Friars, it may have been John Conniff, it may have been someone else who covers the Padres minor league system, was talking about, yeah, look, I think he's going to have success this year. I also wouldn't have brought him up this year.
Yeah, I mean, but also, I mean, the Padres have to put together the best team they can with the pieces they have. So if he is one of the best pieces, let's go ahead and do that. And you know what? He may be part of the best pieces because he is a bit of a lightning rod. I mean, going out there and talking like a veteran, it brings a lot of confidence to me as a Padre fan. I dig it. I dig the fact that there is somebody on the team that brings eyeballs to the team, that creates a little spark, creates a little life. The issue I have with the Padres is when I saw them in the first 2 games against the Dodgers, even though they split the series, I kind of had the same feeling that this is about the same as last year. Which,
All right.
I mean, that team, how many wins did they have? 81? Is that what they ended up with?
Yeah, 81.
82,
82, you're right.
which
Yeah,
was
it
only
a
2
game
behind the
over 500.
Diamondbacks, who ended up in the World Series. They had 84.
Listen, I'm not saying it's impossible to do special teams or special things in the postseason, even if your regular season doesn't go perfectly. However, I will say this, getting to the postseason, like that's my hope. Like the expectations for the season are something less than that because of all the things we learned about this team last year. But who knows? Maybe Mike Schultz has turned around this whole clubhouse culture.
Yeah.
We'll see. All
So 858, I just brought you on the air, so you know you're on the air. You're muted right now, but I'm about to unmute you. Do you know the keyword 858 number?
Sheesh.
That's a winner.
He did it.
That's a winner.
Who are we talking to?
Yeah, what's your name?
This is Scott, Budweiser Scott. What's up, boys?
What up, dog?
What up, Budweiser Scott? You like Social D and Bad Religion?
Yeah, I mean, I know more about that religion, social something.
Okay.
I mean,
Social distortion.
what do you want to do? Trade him in for Islands?
Yeah.
Nah, let's do it, man. I'll go.
Okay,
All
cool.
right, cool. I dig that. Social D, Bad Religion, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, April 12th. Ticketmaster.com if you want to buy tickets. But hang on the line there, Scott. Congratulations, knowing the code word right out of the gate.
There goes Budweiser Scott. He hit it right on the nose. We're going to be doing that again with that Islands gift card you just mentioned. $50 to Islands, the cheesiest of cheddar fries, the happiest of happy hours from 3 to 6:30 every weekday. Not a bad place to be for the March tournament as we continue on. We've got the Aztecs playing a huge game today. Obviously, the Padres first pitch at 1:10 down at Petco Park. If you're looking for a bar to belly up to, there's an Islands near you. Okay, so with all that said, TD, with all this excitement just circulating through the air, with all the things that we have and we've seen so far, the thing that you're most excited about and the thing that I see you do more often than anything is get on your phone and go to DraftKings.
All the time. All the time. Yeah.
There
I
it
open up the Pick Six apps. Look, if it's not just about baseball, it's not just about the college tournament. No. NBA action. So are you all about NBA action? Because you got to try Pick Six, the newest fantasy app from DraftKings, an official partner of the NBA. And right now, new customers can earn a 100% instant deposit match, up to $100 in Pick Six credits when you deposit $5 or more. And getting started is simple. All you got to do is download the DraftKings Pick Six app and then sign up with code SD760. You have to have that code SD760 if you want to get that match. Otherwise, not going to work. Not going to work. But then all you got to do is pick at least between two players and choose if they're going to have more or less of a stat. Like, will they score more or less than 30 points, or will they have more or less than 8 assists? Then you're going to lock them in. You're going to compete against others for a shot at huge cash prizes and riches, right? I'm open it up and check it because it's so easy. It's so easy. It's so fun to play. And you can do it with the whole family. Come on, make it a family affair to download the DraftKings Pick Six app. I mean, if they're of age, of course. Download the DraftKings Pick Six app now and get started with code SD760. New customers can earn a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 in Pick Six credits when you deposit $5 or more. Only on DraftKings Pick Six with code SD760. The crown is yours. Offer one per new customer, minimum $5 deposit to receive a match of up to $100 in Pick Six credits, which are non-withdrawable and valid for Pick Six use only. Expire after 180 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 plus in most eligible states. Age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Pick Six not available in all states, including but not limited to Connecticut and New York. For up-to-date list of states, visit dkng.co/Pick Six states. Void where prohibited. See terms at picksix.draftkings.com/promos. Coming up, who are we talking to, Fletch?
Bryce Miller.
Bryce Miller. I was like, it's on the grid somewhere.
He's out in Boston. He likes whiskey.
We're going to talk about Aztecs. We're going to talk about whiskey coming up next. He's out in Boston. We're going to talk a little Aztecs. We're going to talk a little whiskey. Bryce Miller coming up next.
This update presented by Mozzie Heating and Air. We are going to start off with this busy day we have here on San Diego Sports 760. If you think that we're off the air at 9, think again. We are staying till 10 o'clock this morning when Darren Smith Show takes over. He'll be live at the Blind Burro getting ready for opening day across Major League Baseball. John and Jim will be there as well from 1 to 4 because at 4 o'clock, our coverage switches over. We got Aztecs Hoops coming up tonight at 4:39. Ted is on the call. 4 o'clock is pregame. Aztecs, UConn, a shot at the Elite Eight on the line. And the Padres home opener at Petco Park is today. Major League Baseball 2024 season gets going. Padres have the Giants at Petco Park. 1:10 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound. Odd sounds and stinky smells coming from your heating system. It's time for some Mozzie Love.
Yep.
Annual heating maintenance checks from
All the
Mozzie
time.
Heating and Air can increase your comfort and provide a more cost-effective operation. Go to Mozzie.com and schedule an appointment today.
Wow. Getting a call right now from Marshfield, Massachusetts. That's probably, I don't know anybody there. Wait, Boston? Are they calling me?
Oh, dude, answer it. Who knows? Maybe it's Uncle Teddy. He's like, hello, TD.
I forgot to say your name.
I'm sorry. I said thank you to Fletch. I said thank you to Richard, but I did not say thank you to you, Travis Dale.
It happens. It happens. It's Big Rashidi and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Still got that $50 Islands gift card we'll be giving away. But, man, it's fine, Teddy. I mean, I get it because it was like yesterday I was telling Rich and Fletch here, I was out in the hallway with Cool Guy.
Cool Guy, yes.
Yeah, I Heart Cool Guy. And, I mean, nobody even noticed me. Everybody came by to say hi to him every, 5 to 7 seconds. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I'm here, guys. No big deal.
So funny. You know, sometimes the moon is out the same time as the sun. And if the moon is too close to the sun, you don't see the moon. And so I don't mean to offend you, but if you're standing in the same hallway as I Heart San Diego Cool Guy, nobody's going to see you.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. I can't do nothing about that.
I'll tell you right now, the wife's in some striptease aerobics class.
Yeah.
Things are going well on the home front. You dig?
Real good, man.
Anyways, look, again, no easy segues in sports talk. We move on from that convo to this next convo. A great man, a great writer, San Diego Union Tribune's own Bryce Miller, joining the
Wow.
show this morning.
Wow.
There he is.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Covers the Padres, covers the Aztecs, covers all things on the sports scene, San Diego. Bryce, this feels like one of the bigger days we've enjoyed in San Diego from a sports standpoint in a long time. You have these games lined up that almost seamlessly, like they like you're going to have first pitch at 1:10, and assuming no extra innings, then we get like maybe a 15 to 30 minute breather, and we're just headlong into the Sweet 16 with the Aztecs. The stars have aligned for us. Are we expecting fireworks? Is this going to be a great day, a good day, something in between?
It is a huge day, so don't blow it. That's my only advice.
Whoops.
No, it's a little strange because the Padres did. I was in Seoul, Korea with the Padres, and they already opened against the Dodgers. But there is a traditional feel to this day at Petco Park, and that's always exciting. And it's the Giants, and that brings its own storylines. They've continued to add players and look like they're trying to improve a bit. And Bob Melvin returns and all those sort of things. And then you roll, like you say, it's never happened before that the Aztecs have been in back-to-back Sweet 16s. And they were in this exact spot a year ago and in this exact round when they played the number 1 overall seed Alabama. This year they get the number 1 overall seed UConn, which might be better than the team that won the national title last year. It's right in their backyard in Boston. So there's obviously, the crowd, the home court advantage, the feel of things, the familiarity, the lack of travel. There's so much stacked up against San Diego State in this game. So if they can find a way, this would be one of the biggest wins in program history.
You know what, Bryce? Well, what do you think here as you talk about things being stacked up against the Aztecs? I mean, do they have to find a way to win, or do they need to have UConn beat themselves?
They need a little bit of both. I don't think there's any doubt. UConn's only lost 3 times, and one of those losses was at Kansas when they were number 5 in the country, and that was a close game. And then the other 2 wins, they turned. They beat those teams by double digits. Seton Hall, they beat them by 30 in the second time they played. And they beat a really good Creighton team by 14. So they have not been pushed and tested much this year. But in those 3 losses, they average almost 82 points a game. They can really score it. And they average almost 18 points less in those 3 losses. So they've got to have a rough shooting night. But at the same time, San Diego State, and I wrote about that today, the guards with Darion Trammell and Lamont Butler, they need to be factors. They need to score some. They definitely need to give them some threes. They have to impact the game in other ways, a couple of steals, 4 or 5 rebounds, that kind of thing, where they're not just part of this game, but they're impactful in this game. And so I think those 2 things in particular have to come together for San Diego State to have a chance tonight.
Bryce, you and Mark have done such a good job covering this team. And then I look around nationally and I see these different polls put up by CBS Sports or ESPN where they do like power rankings of the Sweet 16, everyone who's left. And San Diego State finds themselves either near the bottom or at the very bottom of these lists. And then I look at the coaches' power rankings, right, of everyone on this list. And Dutch is somewhere around 4 or 5. So it feels like Dutch gets the respect that he deserves, and deservedly so. He's been one of the best coaches in the country over the last 7 years. But the team still at this point is not really getting the fact that they beat the number 1 overall seed last year at this point. They've done all this to get here. They just beat Yale by 30. And yet it's got to this point where they are at the very bottom of these power rankings by some of these national polls. Do you agree with the location that the San Diego State Aztecs would be at, or do you think they're not getting quite enough respect here?
To be honest, I kind of agree. They were the worst shooting team from range in the Mountain West, and they won in spite of it. They lost their last 5 against contenders on the road in the Mountain West. That's something that past teams, even a year ago, that those teams didn't find themselves in those situations. So it's because of their inconsistency to shoot and because of how the season rolled along, particularly against the top teams on the road in the Mountain West. The Mountain West was absolutely stacked. It's not. There's no reason that's a black mark on the resume, but it does raise questions. Those two things in particular. So yeah, they've got to prove it. They've got to show that they can hit some shots, and they've got to show that this is a road game for them in the truest sense. This will go down in the books as a neutral site, but it's not for UConn. And for all those reasons, they've got to play better than they have for much of this season.
Bryce Miller joining us, San Diego Union Tribune, covers the Aztecs, covers the Padres. We have opening day here in San Diego, and like you mentioned, a neutral floor game in Boston. UConn Huskies only an 80-mile drive for their fans, something like a 2,780-mile drive for Aztecs fans if they want to take this one in live. So when you look at that, right, you look at Dan Hurley, his comments about how the committee has screwed the Huskies. You listen to the humility that Brian Dutcher has spoken to the public and to the media with. I mean, look, I know that we do this in sports. We do this. We try to draw lines where it's like good versus evil, right? We try to really evoke bases, but this really does feel a little bit like, the resistance against the evil empire. I don't know why, but this does feel like if the Aztecs beat UConn here today, it's not just beating UConn, but it's beating some of this entitlement and some of this ridiculousness you hear out of some of these more blue blood programs complaining about things, while the Aztecs on a shoestring budget have been perennial tournament teams and now perennial Sweet 16 teams.
Yeah, I mean, for the first time, you don't have to go back very long, 3 or 4 years ago, when you talked about San Diego State is a great team in the Mountain West. They win the Mountain West regular season title more often than not. They win the tournament title more often than not. But the knock on them is they couldn't get past the first weekend. So to do it 2 years in a row, and then if you add a win, over UConn, in a game like this, which would be a bigger win, in my opinion, than over number 1 Alabama last year. That was a younger team. The UConn is more veteran. They have quality depth. They have three guys that played a lot of minutes, had an impact on last year's national title game. So for all those reasons, you're kind of feeling the legacy change potentially. And I think it really changes if they find a way to win tonight.
Bryce, you're a whiskey drinker, a fan of whiskey. The Aztecs win.
I've done a few. Yeah.
Okay. All right. The Aztecs win.
He'll tipple a few.
So I'm saying
he'll knock a couple back.
Is there a special pour with an Aztecs victory today?
Well, I'm the unbiased guy. I didn't grow up in San Diego, so it's probably not celebration mode for me, other than it's fun to see a team continue to move on and play bigger and bigger games. And you're right, Rich, talking about a lot of respect, as a lot of people have, for Brian Dutcher and what he's done, and really, and a good point that you raised, how he's done it. So for all those reasons, it would be great to see them find a way. That's what this tournament's all about. But the other factor is, in Boston, a whiskey pour is probably going to be like a car payment. So I don't know.
I don't know the bit, Bryce. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
So you don't know if it's top shelf. Here it might be medium shelf, whatever that means.
So something I'm not sure either of you two guys, Rich, TD, are aware of, but I know because of different sources, Bryce Miller and John Fink, our veteran newsman who comes over here and does Four Corners News, are close friends.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know about it. Yeah.
So, Bryce Miller, do you have anything that for next Tuesday when John Fink comes in and does his weekly segment with us that we could trip him up a little bit with? Like something from John Fink's past, maybe a murder charge that he escaped or something that we're able to bring up?
Yeah. Does he have a body somewhere? Yeah.
John Fink is the least likely person to have a skeleton in his closet. He might be one of the nicest people I've ever met. And I know John because I've known his wife, Karen, who's from Iowa too. You're going back almost to the 80s, probably the early 90s. So that's how I met John. But yeah, great guy. I mean, you could, he's visited our little neighborhood hang, Clems in Kensington, a few times, watched a few games, and So yeah, John's a great guy. I don't have any dirt. I've got no TMZ info on John, unfortunately, because I don't know that he has any. He's just a great guy.
Yeah, well, listen, we'll keep digging because we're convinced that there has to be some. I don't know. There has to be something.
I mean, if Bryce goes missing, I know the first person I'm questioning.
Oh, it's John Fink.
Oh yeah,
There's no
without a
question
doubt.
about it.
Well, I don't know if it's not a skeleton, but it's interesting. For a short period of time, he filled in. I don't know if you guys know, he was a massage therapist with the Padres for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. You guys knew that.
Yeah, we knew that. Yeah. A lot of locker room talk here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And he's massaged each and every one of us.
Yeah. With
Yeah,
those same locker room
I guess
stained
that was-
hands.
I guess that wasn't the news update I thought it might be. So sorry about that.
No. It was like one of the first things he said to me. I was like, all right, well, it's good to meet you, John Fink. Gotta go. And then I walked away going, that is the largest human being I ever met. And then the very next day, he made sure to share with me he's a vegan, which is like all vegans. Anybody who drives, by the way, an EV, like an electric car, they'll be like, I'm a Tesla owner. Or if you only eat vegetables and no dairy, you want everyone to know about it. And
Right.
John Fink is no different. And by the way, I saw him driving out of here in his electric Yaris the other day.
He's too big for that car.
He needs to cut a sunroof in it immediately because his head looks like it. There's no way he can see out the windshield.
Bryce, do you have a final score prediction for us today?
Oh boy, I honestly think the Aztecs can keep it close. It'd be hard not to pick UConn. I don't know, maybe with the defense they play, I'm doing the math in my head, installing maybe 75-70,
Wow.
something like that. They're the biggest long shot in this tournament of the 16 teams left. They're 10.5-point underdogs for lots and lots of reasons. But if you also ask me, can they win this game? They can win this game.
Yep.
They have to have a lot of things go right, but they could win this game. That's just the team they are is a little bit challenged. They got to score against UConn, and that's an uphill climb a lot of days. So we'll see. Should be interesting, and hopefully it's fun.
Yeah, second most bet ticket on this game. The most total bets in general, the over on UConn, and the most on the spread.
I meant to put him on hold. I hung up
you
on
hung
him.
up
Sorry,
on him.
Wow,
Bryce.
sorry. Wow, Bryce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens on this show,
Yeah.
Bryce. Yeah, you don't turn on us.
Yeah, we turn on you. All right. Well, coming up, we have bottom of the barrel scheduled, but we're barely going to have time for that. We went long with Bryce. Fletch is furiously texting him right now to apologize for hanging up on him.
We may have time for it
Oh, yeah?
because we got a bonus hour.
Oh, no. Oh, we do. Yeah, we'll get to bottom of the barrel. We just may not do it now. That's all. But yeah, we are going to be on until 10 a.m. We are foregoing all national programming today. We hand off our broadcast to Darren Smith, who's going to be live at the Blind Burro. And then that goes on to John and Jim before Aztecs pregame. Burro. Got to roll your R's when you say Blind Burro. But before we do any of that, I got to say something to you, Fletch. Even though you broke your leg recently and you've been scooting around, I thought maybe a more sedentary lifestyle would start taking control of your body and you would turn into the couch potato you once were. That hasn't happened. None of that has happened. In fact, you were like this misshapen spud of a potato, like one of the ones that's like at the bottom of the barrel. Like when you're sorting through all
Coming
the
up next.
potatoes. Yeah. You see the one with like all the, like it even has some of the outgrowths. You're like, well, if we plant it, maybe we'll have a new potato plant.
You know, I know you're trying to be nice,
But hang on.
being a real jerk.
But Wayne and Chloe with SDFatLoss.com, they picked you up and they said, nah, this potato's got a future. They cut off some of those outgrowths. They peeled it. They boiled it and they mashed it up and they turned it into this fine physical specimen we're looking at today. Right?
Yeah. What? Come on.
I thought that was,
I don't know.
Just dig your roots into that.
yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Well, we're just talking.
Yeah.
We're just talking veggies. And you know what? We've been eating a lot of veggies.
So
on
SDFatLoss.com, Mike's off, both of you. SDFatLoss.com has a free consultation where you can go sign up for free and then talk to Wayne and Chloe. They'll lay out a little roadmap for you to get into the shape that you once were in and think about what's coming up here in just a couple short months. Summer, Does that scare you a little bit? Does summer scare you a little bit? I know it scares TD.
No, I'm fine.
Okay,
I'm fine
but
because of SD fat loss.
that's the only reason why. Because if we're going to be lounging out by the pool, which I plan to do plenty of this summer, I'm glad that I'm in the best shape of my life right now. And I'm glad that when I had this disaster happen to me, that I broke my ankle and broke my leg, that I wasn't carrying 40 extra pounds, because everything would have been a little bit harder. But right now, it's really not that bad. It sucks, but it's not that bad. Not as bad as it could be for sure. And that's thanks to sdfatloss.com. That's thanks to the job that Wayne and Chloe did. And that's thanks to them really empowering me to do the job that I needed to do, which was drop about 40, 50 pounds. I was 278 pounds this summer. That was the heaviest I'd ever been by a long shot. I was on a vacation in Mexico, and I was basically a beached whale, just sitting there ordering another margarita, and I was fat, and it was the worst. And it was the worst I'd ever felt. And then Wayne and Chloe opened up new doors to me in my life, and now I'm down in the 230s. I feel better than I have in a long time. Was just at the doctor's office yesterday, and I wasn't scared to get on the scale, which is something that I had to deal with a lot in my personal life. So if you're getting ready for summer here and you want to trim 20, 30 pounds in the next couple months so that when you're laying out by the pool this summer, you feel a little bit better about yourself, get on over to sdfatloss.com today. Make a change for your health. Make a change for your looks. Feel good going into summer 2024. sdfatloss.com.
Are you experiencing lower back pain, knee, hip, or foot or ankle pain? Yeah, me too, for a long time, until I went to the Good Feet store. They have 200 plus locations around the US and overseas. They have FSA and HSA ability. You can use your health savings account to purchase these. It's a try before you buy experience, and it's only available at the Good Feet store. Arch support, so you have a better back this spring. Look, we don't have much time. Oh, wait, we do. We have a bonus hour of Big Rich, TD, and Fletch coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. Yeah, you normally hear Colin Cowherd's voice. Not today, San Diego. Not today. San Diego Sports 760 has all local programming from now until tip-off of the Aztecs in the big tournament. That's right. Sweet 16 bound San Diego State. UConn Huskies tips off at exactly 4:39 p.m. Pacific Daylight Standard Time.
Apex predators of the Pacific. Orcas like temperatures of less than 53 degrees.
Yeah, this is a fun day. So much fun that we are doing a bonus hour. So keep it right here. We also still have that $50 Islands gift card to give away.
Wow.
So normally we're in a huge rush to give it away like right before 9 a.m. We're not going to do
today.
that. Nope. We're going to make it wait. We may have you do orca impressions to win this thing. We don't know. That sounds more beluga.
Yeah, that is more. That's like bottlenose.
Bottlenose dolphin.
Yeah.
I'll work on it during the commercial break.
And then like the blue whale does that real long like.
Or is that humpback?
Oh,
I
maybe
can never
humpback,
tell.
yeah,
I can never
humpback.
tell.
Star Trek 4, A Voyage Home.
Yeah.
Remember they had to get the 2 humpback whales?
I do remember that. That was a good
Crazy.
episode.
We'll work on it during commercial break.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will. We got to
Are you
take
telling us we have to take a break?
Yes.
So we're going to take a quick time out here, but we'll be back on the other side.
This update is presented by Summit Racing Equipment. Busy day here on 760. We're staying. You're hearing my voice right now, so we're on the air till 10 a.m. Darren Smith Show from 10 to 1 from the Blind Burro downtown, getting you ready for opening day. John and Jim, they're at the Blind Burro from 1 to 4. 4 o'clock, that's when our coverage for San Diego State basketball taking on UConn in the Sweet 16 gets going. 4:39, Ted Leitner is on the call. Padres home opener also going down today. Major League Baseball getting the 2024 season going. Padres get the Giants at Petco Park. 1:10 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound. Summit Racing has the parts you need to keep your truck rolling right, from custom grills to tonneau covers and everything in between. Shop summitracing.com. Use promo code radio for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions do apply. Offer ends 4/14/24.
Happy Thursday to those who celebrate. Happy Sweet 16. Happy Padres home opener. It's Big Rich, TD, and Fletch on this glorious Thursday, or as we like to call it here on this show, a Bar Cart Friday Eve. Yeah, Bar Cart Friday happening tomorrow. Brought to you by Keg and Bottle. 10 locations around San Diego. But yeah, if you're used to hearing Colin Cowherd's voice right now, you're not going to.
Grab some pine, Colin. On
Yeah.
the bench today, boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We took him to task in a big way right there.
Find my way home.
Sweet Burn Fletch.
Sorry.
That's what we call him here on the show. Sweet Burn Fletch.
Hey, Fletch, what is the read that you do with the tonneau covers?
Summit Racing Equipment.
Should we call them to get a confirmation on how to say tonneau cover? Because now we got Jay Riff in studio saying it's tonneau. Tonneau.
Oh, so that's Google?
That's Google.
Wow.
Google saying tonneau.
So if you've been lying to me for 3 days,
I
because
don't
that
know.
is what I said the first time.
Tonneau covers?
Yes,
See, this
I
is
always call them a tonneau cover.
because
guys,
it reads to know.
this is so confusing because I just typically call it a pickup truck bed cover.
Same.
Like, hold on. Let's call Summit Racing.
Yeah, let's call him. Let's
let
get
me
him on the
Let me
horn.
get the
Why not?
number here.
I mean, it's a pretty important day, so why don't we just do that during commercial break?
Yeah,
maybe?
but people
Well,
need
what?
to know, I think, whether or not they've
They
been
like-
mispronouncing Tana or Tanau cover. So we'll get to the bottom of that so the good people at home don't have to. Also, by the way, we have a $50 gift card to Islands. Okay. Have you ever had their seasoned fries?
I have.
maybe with buffalo chicken bites and mac and cheese on top.
Dude, they did that. You remember? So this was
Oh, I
last
remember.
year during the fall. We went on a Thursday night football game.
Broncos Colts, terrible game.
It was not a good game.
It was a lengthy game,
It was
though.
a long game. It was a lengthy
All
game.
field goals.
Was not a good game. We went and we enjoyed the hell out of some tiki tenders, out of some fresh cut French fries.
Dude.
We had a couple burgers.
So we had the wives with us,
Yeah.
and Sarah said, "I like to dip my fries in mayonnaise," and they were like, "Would you like a mayonnaise flight?"
And we said yes.
They brought
Difference
out.
between mayonnaise and aioli is not very much.
Well,
And
no.
aioli's classy, and mayonnaise is considered trashy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why? What are you saying about my wife?
You son of a
Nothing.
bitch.
I love mayonnaise, dude.
Actually, you know what she likes to dip her fries in the most? Tartar sauce.
She's Canadian.
Yeah.
I've said this since the
God.
day I met her.
Disgusting.
I was like, yeah, she's Canadian.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, dude, she was born. She's not Canadian at all. I'm like, I'm not sure, dude. And then,
You think she's a foreigner?
oh, dude, without going, yeah. And then you're like, yeah, but she really likes gravy on her French fries too. I'm like, Canadian.
Listen, if somebody offered, like, if I was buying fries, right? It's
Yeah.
like, hey, I'd like some of those fresh cut fries, and they went, would you like some gravy poured on them? I wouldn't say no.
Well, here's actually something interesting. Is something in the diners in New York that's super popular.
Poutine?
Well, it's not. They call it something. So poutine is popular in Canada. In like New York diners, it's melted mozzarella on a plate of fries dipped in brown gravy. Like that is something everybody loves. I hated it. I hated it so much.
I have a challenge for you.
Go ahead.
Tie what you just said. Would say it one more time?
Yeah.
Mozzarella cheese.
Mozzarella cheese melted over a plate of French fries dipped in brown gravy.
Segue that to the Aztecs game.
Easy. I'll tell you how. Okay. So if you're going to picture today as any kind of meal, picture it as French fries. French fries are great,
Okay.
right? French fries are great. So a sports day in San Diego is great no matter what. French fries.
Is it a certain kind of fries?
Just okay, yeah, actually.
Fresh cut.
What's your favorite kind of fry?
I would go steak fry.
Okay, steak fry. Okay, for Travis Dale's steak fries.
Right.
So I'm saying picture a plate of steak fries. Are those good?
Fantastic.
Okay, well, how about this? How about you don't just get the steak fries.
Mhm.
We have opening day in baseball, but it's happening here in San Diego.
Is that the mozzarella?
That's the mozzarella melted on top.
Mozzarella's great.
Wow.
Now check this out.
Okay.
Now, so I got your attention with the mozzarella melted on top of the
You
French
definitely
fries.
do.
But all of a sudden, when that game ends at Petco Park, you could just go ahead and tune into San Diego Sports 760. And if you want me to pour brown gravy all over those delicious mozzarella fries, we
I
have
do.
the Aztecs
I do.
tipping off at 4:40 p.m. against the Yukon Huskies, the team that beat them in the championship game a year ago in the Sweet 16. What? Yes, you heard that right.
Now you're hungry and you're ready for sports. Rich Orenberger, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh,
round of applause, everybody.
Unbelievable. I really would like to dive into that, to be quite honest. I
Well,
feel like I want to make that.
I
here.
had it as a teenager, and you know how your taste buds change every 7 years. My memory is it stunk, but as an adult, there's a lot of things that I do now that I thought when I was a kid were gross.
Well, check this out, though.
Mhm.
What if it wasn't fries? What if it was
And
like
I
a
like those things.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. What if it was a mountain of tater tots, right? A mountain of tater tots, and then that mozzarella cheese is like the snow cap,
Golly.
and then all of a sudden the river of gravy just runs down, and you
The
have
point
to,
of me
you have to
trying to
fork
get
and
Rich to
knife
do
it.
the segue was to get back to San Diego State. Now we're talking about more food.
Yeah,
Well,
but-
you know what? Hold on, though. The Colin Coward listeners are probably like, "Wait, I thought we were going to talk about football."
Yeah. Well, guess what? Think again, idiots. It's time to talk about mounds of tots and gravy. In fact, an
The 9
avalanche.
o'clock tot hour.
An avalanche of gravy cascading down the sides of Tot Mountain. Look, the point is, if you're interested in sports, find another station. No, I'm kidding. No, listen, the Padres opening day, it comes on the heels of this weird series out in Seoul, South Korea, where they split against the Dodgers. So it's like all of a sudden, it's like that didn't happen. I mean, because you have 160 games left to play and it's an even record. You're 1-1. So this is truly opening day. They had 2 exhibition games in between too. It was like spring training extended
Mhm.
at home. It's been a bizarre start to their season. So this is truly the start to the Padres season, which is awesome. But then to have it transition into the Aztecs in the Sweet 16 is even more awesome. My question to you and to all of our listeners, 70470, if you want to text the show, start your message with team, or you could use the talkback feature on the free iHeart Radio app. It's a little microphone button next to the play button. Click that. You could talk directly to us. We could play those talkbacks on the show. What are you more excited for? A lot of baseball fans in this city, no question about it. But there's been even more and more Aztecs fans as they've had more and more success over the years. I mean, are you more excited for opening day or for the Aztecs?
Well, I mean, opening day is kind of fun because it's opening day. You know, you got a lot of people playing hooky. The stands are going to be full. But, I mean, this is do or die with the Aztecs. You know what I mean? This is it's all riding on this year. If you don't, the season's over.
Yeah.
If you don't win.
It's not even a conversation. It's the freaking Sweet 16.
I agree.
Baseball's got what? Padres have 159 more of these freaking things after today, and they're gonna make us struggle through all of them.
But there's a lot of people who opening day, it's like a seminal moment on their sports calendar.
right.
Correct.
Like it's what they wait all year for.
And that's fine. I don't know who that person is, but that's fine if they're
Tori
out there.
Peck.
Okay.
Tori Peck, traffic girl, Tori Peck.
But
Is she going to be at the ballpark?
Yeah, her and her dad go to opening day every single year. It's a sweet moment.
But history gets made in the Sweet 16, and the Aztecs have a chance to do just that. I don't know how today's going to go. Look, they're going up against a juggernaut in Yukon. We've called them a buzzsaw. That's quite literally what they've been in the March Madness tournament over the last 2 years. Look at the final scores of some of these games. But if San Diego State can get them into a rock fight, man, if that history is going to be made, it's going to be an ugly basketball game. And I think San Diego State, Brian Dutcher, Dave Velasquez, they are the perfect people to muddy up a basketball game.
If the Padres score 100 runs, history also made.
It's a good point.
So I mean,
That's a good
like,
point.
let's just say 100-run game.
I'm just saying
Like,
that's only 11 an inning.
Let's step aside for 1 second and here's some Ted Leitner from earlier on our show today. If you missed it, it'll be up on the free iHeart Radio app. But he was getting us ready for the game. And Rich, you were pointing out the differences between how Coach Hurley has handled the media throughout all this and Coach Dutcher has handled the media throughout all this. And Uncle Teddy had some thoughts. Let's hear from him.
You know, when you ask that question, and I don't. I mean, to go in there and say, you guys are really scared.
What?
Wait,
You guys are really scared. Huh? This is a team that is not awed by this. This is a team that has been to the championship game, and yes, it was Connecticut last year. They have been on national television. They are San Diego State. They are. You can see in terms of the seeding of the other Mountain West clubs, San Diego State is the Mountain West when it comes to basketball, and that's not their play-by-play guy wearing red and black or waving a red and black flag. It's absolutely the way you saw. Everybody's a 10, a 10, a 10, and 11, and the Aztecs are a 5 seed because not just who they play, and Dutch will play anybody, while many other Mountain West schools, play, Louisiana Tech and whomever, and Colorado State Pueblo and all these other teams, and they get those big numbers in terms of their record, and the NCAA says, come on, you haven't played anyone, and you're not that good, and you don't play well every single year. Like last year, 0-11 in the NCAA. That league we know is San Diego State.
Yeah, they are everything to the Mountain West right now. Like the Zags are to their conference, like so many smaller mid-major schools that have risen above their circumstances. San Diego State's right there. And they've made a great name for themselves nationally because of the work of Steve Fisher prior to Brian Dutcher and the work of Brian Dutcher since. This team is nationally relevant because you've built a culture. And again, the way they've built the culture is so unique, especially now in the age of transfer portal and name, image, and likeness, because it is a shoestring budget. If you look at the final Sweet 16 teams left, San Diego State has the lowest athletic department budget amongst them. That's not, look, these are stats. These are real figures. In order to have the replicable success that San Diego State has had over the past 2 seasons, but before that too, because this is a perennial tournament team on that kind of dollar.
And you can make the argument that their head coach is the most underpaid head coach in the country.
You don't make the argument. That is a factual statement.
And he just signed a new extension that's going to make Dutch very rich and his family very rich for generations to come. However, Dutch is vastly underpaid for the amount of success that this program has gone through.
And that's no slight to San Diego State. It really honestly isn't. It's no slight to Brian Dutcher. In fact, it's a compliment to both sides, because what they've been able to do because of the people that they've hired at San Diego State and the person that Brian Dutcher is, and then also the effort that has gone into building a culture and keeping this thing going. Like, that's a huge compliment to San Diego State, the university, the faculty, the staff in the, across the campus, and, who surround the president, Adela Della Torre, and then also the athletic department with JD Wicker, who's kept this thing going, kept the wheels on the track. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I was just looking at these numbers here. This is from a place called Betway, and they say that Brian Dutcher is in the top 10 for the most popular coaches with positive sentimental scores in the country. He's loved, and it's not just here in San Diego. It's from the outside looking in, which is great when you're talking about, do some of these athletes want to come to San Diego?
Exactly. Or, by the way, retaining your athletes. So what's the most important part about the transfer portal? It's the fact that these players can go wherever they want, whenever they want.
Keeping the weight off.
Well, it's the fact that Jaden Ledee's been here for 2 years. Or 3 years, because he did a redshirt year. It's the fact that Jaden Ledee stayed with San Diego State, and he was able to mature the first 2 years he was here and become the All-American that he is this year. It's a testament to the program. And if today is the last day, this is a season worth celebrating big time. They're in the freaking Sweet 16.
Okay, so it's funny that you were like goofing around, segueing into an ad read. Okay, so follow me here. So we talk about our weight loss with scfatloss.com. What do you call that? That's a testimonial, right? Like, we are real people who really did this, and then we had real results. So people hear us talk about it and they go, I'll try it too. Well, guess what? It's the same thing when you have a proof of concept like Jaden Ledee.
TCU, Ohio State, then stays at San Diego State.
Stays at San Diego State.
Right.
He's bounced around. He is living proof that you can have a guy who's a little bit of a rolling stone. He lands with a program that works for him, and all of a sudden he's like, I'm not going anywhere. This is home now. This is where I want to develop my talents. And look what it's gotten him. He's on the Wooden finalist list. This guy
Malachi Flynn, who just dropped 24 points in the NBA.
There you go. Another guy
fantastic.
transferred in, stuck around.
Yeah, no, it's I mean not only a program that works for him. I mean he's working for the program.
Yeah.
I mean this is great. Sweet 16, baby. What? Jeez. Wow.
A lot of pressure on you.
Oh yeah, a lot of pressure on me. I was just told if this isn't lap worthy, you're gonna cry. Would you think I wouldn't have some lap worthy material?
This is what I think's going on.
Okay.
He's about to go under the knife. He broke the tib and the fib in his
Yeah.
lower leg.
Right.
Like he's thinking to himself, like, how many more opportunities over the next couple of days are we going to have to
True.
send him on a
Sure.
lap?
There was like 12 NBA games last night. So if I don't have any here that are terrible, I don't know what I've done. But we were just talking about it, man. Aztecs in the Sweet 16. Our coverage of Aztecs Hoop begins here at 4 o'clock. And then at 4:39, that will be tip-off. Ted Leitner on the call. Aztecs versus UConn.
Lap.
What's one? I knew what I was saying. I just wasn't saying it.
Johnny Utah.
That's who I meant. All right. Golly, guys. A shot at the Elite Eight here on the line in baseball. Padres home opener today against the Giants.
Yu Darvish is on the mound.
I don't like your attitude. 110 first pitch there in the NBA. The Nets of Ozd, the Wizards, 122-119. The Hornets arouse the Cavs, 118-111. Golden State of the Union, the Magic, 101-93. The Knicks set a hip hop, a hibby, the hibby to the hip hop. You don't stop the rock. You bang, bang, boogie. You jumped up the boogie to the rhythm of the boogity beat. The Raptors delight, 145-101.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. You could take away that last lap we gave you. That
Right.
one,
I earned her back.
you earned it back.
I like it.
You're at 0.
The Clippers cheesesteak the Phillies.
And we're back up.
108,
They're the
107.
76ers.
I screwed that one up.
Son of a-
Didn't mean the Phillies. I just meant Philly. How about this one? The Hawks, Ho Chi Minh Trailblazer, 120-106. Oh my God, Vietnam reference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chicago shipped the Pacers, 125-99. Too
I need
soon.
to dump that.
Too soon for Chicago ships.
Cargo ship. You mean like they hit a bridge?
Yes, that's too soon.
Yeah. That
Sorry.
happened
People
yesterday.
died.
Sorry. Minnesota, Mickey Mouse, the Pistons, 106-91.
Okay.
Oklahoma Simpson, the Rockets, 109-104.
Pretty clever.
Lay Curse of the Black Pearl, the Grizzlies, 135-119. Spurs it airlined, the Jazz, 118-111.
Burzid Airlines?
Spirit Airline? You ever been on Spirit? It's
Not even
great.
close.
Dude.
And it's not great.
Hey, the sun's out, guns out, the Hornet, Nuggets, whatever, 104-97.
Go ahead.
I'll see you guys. How many do I got to do?
I think that's 2. I think that's only 2. You got back to even and then you went negative.
J Riff's gonna go pace you.
Pace me.
Yeah.
Wow.
You gotta
That ain't
keep
good.
up.
That ain't good.
You're gonna be a stalking horse, J Riff. He's the white rabbit around the track. All right. So listen, we asked the question earlier to the text line 70470. Start your message with team. Also to our talkback, our listeners on the free iHeartRadio app. If you want to use the talkback feature, just click that microphone button on the app. It's next to the play button. You can leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on air. And as a matter of fact, we've got 2 talkbacks to play here. The question was, what are you more excited for? Opening day, the home opener at Petco Park, or the Aztecs in the Sweet 16? Here's our first one. Did he call it man Christmas?
So
It could be Lady Christmas too. In fact, I mean, one of my neighbors is an enormous Padres fan. And she was all decked out heading out to work. I have actually no idea if she was heading to work, but she was up at 4:15 in the morning this morning. It's insane. It is like Christmas here in San Diego. You got the Aztecs and Padres both playing. What's our second talk back like? Let's hear this
Okay,
one.
this is not about Aztecs or Padres or anything. It's actually a conversation we had in the 6 o'clock hour about rap East versus West Coast.
Okay.
I'm back in.
Yeah.
But TD's here for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
House music. I gotta tell you, it's something I have not gotten into.
Oh, I've gotten into it.
Are you in?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, we are Big Rich TD and Fletch Fest is going to be primarily house music.
Yeah. And if you're not in, you better get out. And by get out, I mean of the house. Because all we play music-wise is house music. You dig? Yeah.
Listen, I gotta tell you, 2 laps? It's hard to breathe.
Yeah. We're going to take
Like, if you come right back into house music, you're gonna kill me.
We're gonna take a quick timeout. We had Bryce Miller on earlier. He was talking about the Padres. He was talking about the Aztecs. We had Teddy Leitner on earlier today. We've got some sound from both of them that we can play. Also, again, if you are interested in fresh cut fries, this is the show for you. San Diego Sports 760 is Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. A $50 gift card to one of our listeners coming up for Islands, fine burgers, and drinks. But Fletch, you got to talk to me about
Thank you.
something that you've been doing by yourself mostly. I may join you, though.
Please do.
I mean, we could do this together.
The water's warm.
I'm just saying.
Pop that top and get on in because Prize Picks is a spot for you, Big Rich. As long as you use promo code Fletch, you'll get a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks is America's numero uno fantasy sports app with over 3 million active members. The easiest, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike those other apps, Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. You're not playing against sharks. You're not playing against competitive leagues. You're not playing against me because you'd lose, I promise. All you're doing is picking more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you can watch the winnings roll in. If you got the skills, you could turn $10 into $1,000 with basketball, hockey, college basketball, darts, cornhole, whatever you want. You're going to find it on Prize Picks. It has made sports heaven for me. You can get on the excitement with Prize Picks and turn your latest hoops knowledge or anything else into some serious cash. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code Fletch. Get a first deposit match up to $100, and you could use it tonight with Jaden Ledee. I promise you he will be on my entry coming up later tonight. Prize Picks now offering Apple Pay for quick and easy deposits into your account this season, and get ready for Major League Baseball because the season-long entries are open right now on the Prize Picks app. Get in. I have mine. They're all home runs based, and it's a lot of fun. So Prize Picks, promo code Fletch. Download it today.
Coming up, we've got a lot to talk about on a busy sports day here in San Diego. Aztecs, Sweet 16, Padres, stateside opening day. More next.
This update is presented by the UPS store. Busy day here on 760. Obviously, you're still hearing Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. We're saying until 10, and at 10, Darren Smith is going to be taking over from 10 to 1 from the Blind Burro downtown, getting you ready for opening day, home opening day for the Padres. John and Jim will follow that from 1 to 4, and then at 4 o'clock, our coverage for San Diego State basketball in the Sweet 16 begins. 4:39, Ted Leitner's on the call. San Diego State UConn with a shot at the Elite Eight on the line. Listen to it here on 760. Padres home opener also going down today, downtown at Petco Park in the Gaslamp. 1:10 first pitch, Yu Darvish on the mound taking on the San Francisco Giants. Your local San Diego County, the UPS store locations, they're hosting a shred event from March 27th yesterday through March 30th, the day after tomorrow. 50% off shredding services. Visit the upsstore.com for the location nearest you. See store for details.
Coming up Monday, April 1st, it's the 2024 iHeart Radio Music Awards. It's live on Fox. Performances by Justin Timberlake, Green Day, TLC, Jelly Roll, Lenny Wilson, and a whole lot more. Get a preview of what will be the biggest songs of the summer. Watch the iHeart Radio Music Awards on April 1st, live on Fox.
Couldn't keep it together. I tried. It's 8 p.m. on Fox. Big Rich, TD, and Flash, San Diego Sports 760. Guys like fresh cut fries because we got a $50 Islands gift card we're going to be giving away. Let me tell you about that. Islands has a vast menu of items, a family-friendly beachy vibe atmosphere with delicious food and drinks. Islands has the happiest happy hour started weekdays at 3, the cheesiest fries. Eat on myself. And coldest beer in town. Visit Islands, find burgers and drinks, or just keep listening for your chance to win those. Pretty sure we haven't given those away yet, right? Anyways, go Aztecs and Padres. How long are we going to sit in silence, guys? Like, why do I get cast aside? I thought I was going to get high fives. The listeners love it. Trust me. I've seen the numbers.
Are you proud of yourself? You have ruined us.
Why? Because of Tanao?
It's because of Tanao, not because of Tanao. So what? Yeah, we've been mispronouncing bed covers for a week. Big deal. Big
Because I was
whoop.
certain it was ton of
We
covers.
just got on the phone.
called
with
it my whole life.
Harbor Freight. Who did we just call?
Called Summit.
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 Of course.
Yeah.
And we're very appreciative that they're spending to be on our
Yeah.
station, but we've been mispronouncing one of their most popular sellers of the spring.
I said, hey, how do you pronounce ton cover? And he said, well, bed cover.
And then he said, no, actually, since it's EAU, I would probably say to know.
Yeah.
He said, because it's French.
Oh, you mean like the way I said it the first time I did the update read? And Travis goes, hey, you mean Tana?
You asked me. I wasn't listening to your read. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah. Not like we were all fixated on whatever the hell you just did with the iHeart. What is it? What are we even reading about there? The iHeart dance off, pants off, dance off. April.
Are we having that?
Wait,
Again?
no, I'm wrong. It was the April 1st, 2024 iHeartRadio Music Awards, which is of course live on Fox.
913 just ripped in 3 texts in a row. First one, Tractor Pole shouldn't quit his day job when it comes to rap. Second one, take a rap lap, Travis.
God, it's going to be my 4th lap of the day. That would be a record.
That
Third
would
one,
be.
Travis tries rap is scheduled for Tuesday, not today. Travis, you fail.
Wow. A lot of strong words.
Could I try rap on Tuesday?
A lot of strong. Yes. Actually, yes, you can.
Done.
Is there any royalty-free Eminem 8 Mile?
Oh, here you go, TD.
Taco
703.
Tuesday.
That iHeart read by TD was fantastic.
Thank you, 703. Thank you.
And by the
was
way-
that J-Rip? Are you 703? You want another one? Monday, April 1st, it's 2020.
What the hell is the matter with you? What the hell happened?
These are the breaks. That's what it felt like to me. Bonus hour is pretty good on a bar cart Friday Eve.
I think
our
we
boss
should-
just walked by. Everybody put your ties on.
We should probably go ahead and just keep this show to 4 hours. I was gonna say it's gone so well so far.
Opening day for the Padres. You guys pumped?
Yeah.
Home opener for the Padres just feels like opening day because opening day was a week ago.
Yeah, and in Korea. Here's the deal about that.
3 a.m.
I love the fact that we get to share something that's uniquely American that has gone global with many different countries. Because if you think about it, a lot of the baseball players we root for, I mean, look around the ballpark, you're seeing Tatis Jr. jerseys everywhere you look. I mean, he's from the Dominican Republic. This guy goes back to his home country to play winter ball every single year.
Song Kim.
Hassan Kim is
Song
from.
Kim.
Yeah.
He is
Song Kim.
the most often chanted name in Petco Park. He hails from South Korea.
He's
So-
my favorite Padre.
Dude,
It's not even close.
His name is a chant.
It's a chant.
like his parents named him that.
His parents-
chanting it.
We were chanting it as he was delivered. It's unbelievable. Like, so,
Shohei Ohtani never did a thing wrong in his life.
nope, never.
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 Mm-mm.
But if you ever transcribe something for Shohei, duck. Because good Lord,
He's
You'll be-
coming after
he
you.
is coming after you. But so the point I'm making is, like, I love that. I love the global flavor of this game because it's brought us so many things, like to the sports fan in San Diego, that you can hold on to and wrap your arms around. However, I don't love that this series was up front, like in the beginning of the season. Like, I wish it was on the other side of maybe the All-Star break, something
Or right
like that.
before the All-Star break. Yeah, it didn't really make sense where it was, and it wasn't for us. So I don't even know that we have a right to complain about it, right?
Yeah,
This
well,
was Major League Baseball reaching out, and the two teams were picked very specifically because they have two recognizable Asian-born stars on their teams. So when San Diego, the
Three,
Padres,
Yamamoto.
yeah, Yamamoto.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking more Yamamoto and Shohei, and then Hassan Kim is like this great story here. I don't know that he globally has the same,
Yeah.
but he does in Asia.
Yeah.
So when you look at like why these two teams were selected and why these were the two teams to play, it makes more sense for the global aspect of the game.
It's also the shortest plane ride. It's probably the cheapest.
It's
good
definitely the
point.
longest, isn't it?
I don't know.
Well, no, he means like as opposed to if like the Yankees win.
Well,
Yeah, I'm
can they
pretty
go
sure-
the other direction?
No, they could fly over
Over the poles.
the Arctic Ocean.
Right,
Yeah, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, it kind of sucks for the Padres and the Dodgers to be put in this situation where now you did all that travel, you're back, and on a short week like the Padres had, where they had a lot of responsibilities immediately following this trip, I feel like they got a tough road to hoe going into opening day for the rest of baseball.
Well, yeah, if you really, we talked about that a little bit on the other side of the Soul series, and you think about it now after the Peter Seidler remembrance and the exhibition games they had to play leading up to their home opener, it really does feel like a herky-jerky start to the season. Now, with 160 games left to play, I don't know if it has a big impact on the season overall. This will be a distant memory in like a month's time, but it does, to me, it just feels like, I don't know. It's a little bit insincere of Major League Baseball to be like guys on the West Coast, let's all wake up at 2:30 in the morning and celebrate our Dodgers and Padres. It's like, yeah, we can see through this.
Yeah.
Did you guys see any of the re-airing of the games?
No.
They did re-air them. I know that immediately after the finish.
But then that was it?
I believe so. I don't know that for a fact.
Because the only things I saw was in here. Well, actually, it was right before I left for work.
Yeah.
When I saw it here in work, and then whatever highlights there were, which were mostly dugout dancers on Twitter.
Right.
Which is pretty dope.
Which is dope.
They should bring that here.
Kind of
Like those specific dancers. Bring them
Dang.
here.
Yeah.
But all that's in the past now. Now we're just a
Yeah.
few hours away from other opening day. I guess we could call it that. And fans are going to be trickling into Petco Park a little later on. It is a sold-out game for the opener. And I wonder what they're going to be hearing as they walk into Petco Park. I step aside. Travis Dale, take the reins.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to Petco Park, the wildest ballpark this side of the Mississippi.
What the hell is going on right now?
Now we ask you to please keep your hands and arms inside the aisle at all times and remain seated, please. Oh, and hang on to them hats and glasses, because this is sure to be the wildest game in Major League Baseball. Woo! Yeah, get them stashes ready in honor of Mr. Peter Seidler. If you don't grow them out, then you need to get the hell out of here. The hell out of Dodge is what we call it here at Petco Park. Stashes only. That goes for the men and the women here in San Diego.
Just hear Spurs jingling. You hear that? That's the Dodgers lurking around the corner.
By the way, Eric Grupner, take notes. Because if that was happening at every game at Petco Park, I'm in.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't know though if I was going to a baseball game or getting on a log flume.
I wish it was a log flume out the baseball park.
Yeah, you know what? They do have that artificial waterfall next to the stairs that go up to Petco Park. Maybe they should put in a log flume ride.
Why not just out in the outfield? I mean, look at Angel Stadium. They just got this dumb rock formation out there. Make that a log ride.
That's right. That's right. No, that makes a lot of sense. Hey, you know what? We have a lot of good ideas for the Padres. If they just want us to visit them in the press box, you just need to give us credentials this year. That's all.
That's right.
Yeah.
We'll put some of these ideas right in that suggestion box.
I don't know. I mean, what it sounds to me like smart business if you're a sports team to give sports stations credentials, but that's just that's just a guy talking out loud.
It's wacky.
That's a wacky thought.
Too
Anyways.
sports adjacent.
Yeah, way
It's our own
too.
fault.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's good.
Well,
Anyways.
yeah, and we apparently cursed the station.
yeah, we're sorry for that. All right, moving right along. We also have the Aztecs in the Sweet 16. Okay, they're taking on UConn, the team that knocked them out of the national championship game a year ago. We have a $50 Islands gift card to give away as well. We'll do that on the other side, along with Bottom of the Barrel. That's next. $50 Islands gift card, Aztec Sweet 16 bid. Also, bottom of the barrel, Tano. Pretty close.
What's pretty close?
San Diego State, the Aztecs are in the Sweet 16. By the way, Big Rich, TD, and Fletcher with you. Normally, you're listening to Colin Cowherd.
This sounds like stage 3-2 of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh my God, yeah, yeah. Listen to it.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
It's fantastic. All right, so San Diego State in the Sweet 16. UConn is the opponent. We've got, this is going to be at Big Rich Stadium Pledge Fest face. Those fire extinguisher things are going off.
Yeah, and like we're just like squeezing water bottles out. Everybody's all wet.
People will write up the performance we do at Big Rich TD and Fletch Fest as a throbbing performance. Like there is no question, pulsating. It's going to be amazing.
It's gonna look like that weird, like under the ground, whatever Zion scene in the Matrix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Freedom at last.
Mm-hmm.
Look, here's the deal. UConn, Aztecs, let's do it. Let's put a score on it. What do you think the final is going to look like if the Aztecs, or if they win or lose? But what would you suspect the final looks like tonight?
If the Aztecs win, they win 68-62.
Interesting.
Okay.
If
Okay.
UConn wins, this game is played in the 80s.
Mm.
And it might be 86-70.
I'm going to give you my final. You're not going to like it.
Tell me.
Actually, you will like it. You will like it. Survive in advance. It's going to be 71-69 Aztecs.
Wow.
Nice.
Just keep UConn under that 70-point mark and you'll be okay.
Do I have to be positive on this?
No, you don't.
Because
You can be a jerk.
my gut tells me it's 81-69 UConn.
I love how we both are too immature not to leave that out. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, listen, I don't want that. I'm just saying, because what's the spread? 11.5?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's going to be just
Actually, they get
over
bumped down
that.
to 10.5.
Okay, so UConn will win by 11.
Do
That's
you have
what
money on
sucks.
this, Travis Dale?
What?
Like, what's
What?
going on here?
Nothing.
Are you Shohei
No,
in this thing?
No,
Who's your interpreter?
no, dude.
Perlman say centavos, por favor.
the other thing I want to talk to you guys about is win totals on the Padres.
Yeah, don't like this one at all.
Okay, so if you have to put a win total
I feel like I'm very negative today.
on the Padres season, what's it gonna be,
I
gang?
thought about it a lot last night. No one's gonna like me right now.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna catch some bullets. I'm gonna duck right now. 78.
Oh, wow. Wow.
my
Wow.
God.
Yeah. So my gut was actually worse.
Oh, cool. Travis is gonna get the bullets.
77.
Jesus.
Yeah. Now, again, is that what my heart wants? Is that what my heart wants?
Okay, I have an
No.
asterisk. Can I give my asterisk?
Yes.
If their starting rotation stays healthy, it's 84.
Oh, actually, all right. So listen to this.
But I'm just factoring in some issues.
My number is 84.
Wow. Look, you are all positive.
But hang on, a 2-game improvement over last year. The problem is, I think they'll end up missing the playoffs
Oof.
because if you look at around the National League, a lot of teams added. The Padres haven't added enough. So,
Dylan Cease,
well, yeah,
he
but
goes like 100 miles an hour.
dude, they also have a guy who's never played baseball at the major league level, holding down an enormous gap
Not true.
in
He's
the
played
outfield.
2 games.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're right. Which, by the way, you're not going to hear me say a bad thing about Farrell Merrill. I'm just talking about the prospect turned the pro. You are really, really putting a lot of heat on him. So
Where do they finish in the West?
third.
Yeah. They finished third.
If they're getting in, it's a wild card, and 84 wins, it will be tough
Wait,
in the
so
National
you
League.
think that the Giants, the Diamondbacks, are
No.
one of those teams is going to be worse than the Padres?
Dodgers Giants are going to be better.
You
Yeah.
think the Diamondbacks will be worse?
I think that they
the Diamondbacks who were just in the World Series and who have added pieces and whose youth is growing up a little bit.
Well, okay, hold on though. So last
Like
season,
you had a gun to my head right now. Padres finished 4th in the National League West.
you know what? And it is hard for me to say they only have 77 wins and they finished third.
They have to finish third, though. They have to finish third. If they don't finish third, they're not getting it. They're not getting in. I mean, I guess that.
Do you think the Diamondbacks are going to have a repeat of last season?
They're going to be better in the regular season, I think.
I don't know if they catch that lightning in the bottle twice.
They weren't that good in the regular season. They were just good enough to get to the postseason. Then they caught fire, but they are a young team.
That's all I want of the Padres. That's all I'm asking for of our team.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough with 78
Well,
wins.
this was a cruddy way to end the show. This is a fun 4 hours.
Anyways, I'm a liar. 85 wins.
96 wins.
no, stop it. Okay, so seriously, we got to lock them in. What is your number? You gave like 3 of them.
I think 78.
78. What's yours?
77. Please prove me wrong.
All right, 84. And we're going to take it to the bank. We'll put a bet on it at some point. $50 gift card to Islands. You got to call in at exactly 9:55, 877-767-4760. Fletch, who do we thank?
We thank Ted Leitner, who was on earlier. We thank Bryce Miller, who joined us from Boston.
Mhm.
Ted did too. We thank all the roadies, the hangers, the dogs, the bangers, who stuck around for all 4 hours. We do not thank TD and his rapping abilities.
I may want to rethink that.
Well, it's kind of a delight.
Yeah.
You could argue a rapper's delight.
Or a Raptors delight.
And we finished the show with a lap. Congratulations.
That's
D.
unprecedented.
Smith coming up next.
Go Aztecs!
Woo!